Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into this finals between Fate Esports and Team Cubed for today's qualifier. On the left side of the scoreboard, we of course have Fate Esports coming through from the top side of the bracket. We have Arcos on Ruckus, Smutny on Barrack, skillganon on that Drogos, Unbelivable on Pip, and Menschmeyer on Eevee.
Comparatively, on the right-hand side of your scoreboard right now, it is TeamTeamTeam, MULKMULKMULK once again back on that Fernando pick. Marre on Cassie, STURE on Barrack, Kamyker on Pip, and SYER on Ruckus. This one is a run back of the games we saw earlier, but the main difference here is that Marre was running a lot of Buck earlier, now running the Cassie for more of that long-range engagements. Let's see how it goes.
I really like this. This Buck seemed a bit off during that last game especially. And so hopefully this Cassie does a lot better. SYER picks up the first kill onto Arcos in the Ruckus 1v1. It seems as the fight is starting to go in the favor of Team Cubed. MULKMULKMULK up in the face of Unbelivable and Menschmeyer trying to pick up the kill. Doesn't look like he'll find anything though, as both teams just trade blows heavily. But it looks like Menschmeyer able to pick that one up in the end. He finds Mulk, finds the freeze to keep his team safe as well, as they look like they're trying to retreat here and not get picked off. But Marre, he's going aggressive. That's a double kill for him. Unbelivable and skillganon go down. Menschmeyer not able to do anything from his position really, and Team Cubed, they start to get ahead, but still no one on the point. 40 points in favor of Fate, but now it's the time when Team Cubed start to push forwards for the objective control.
Exactly. We just saw Cassie pop her ultimate there. Her scout ultimate does reveal all enemies on the map. You can see them through walls, just as we can see enemies through or allies through walls in this spectator mode. And of course, by doing so, it allows them to see where the offensive push is coming from on the side of Fate Esports. With that information in mind, they can look to zone a little bit better and gain a good deal of cap percentage. Now leading with 76 points to 51, but it's going up inside in favor of Fate Esports right now as Team Cubed is slowly being pushed off. But Kamyker with a double kill looks to turn this around. Fate Esports now in a lot of fire. Ultimates not yet available, but are available actually on the side of Team Cubed. They could come out if this point contest goes long enough. Doesn't look like it's going to. Is Marre with another double kill on that Cassie, rolling around, picking up kills left and right, does help secure that initial point capture. Payload going to get pushed to completion here if TQM or rather all TQM, sorry, that's TeamTeamTeam now have their way.
Kamyker finds the kill onto Unbelivable, who pops his chicken to keep himself safe, but he comes around with the flank and they win the numbers advantage early on as Marre then starts to go crazy on this Cassie. He's going very aggressive and finding those kills that he needs to. Fight going on inside of the little base here that we have. Smutny picks up Kamyker. STURE does manage to trade him. Nice Ice and Storm comes through from Menschmeyer, but it's not enough. STURE picks up a double kill of his own. Smutny and Mensch down. No one really to defend this payload right now, and without a Fernando in their composition, it looks like Fate are going to be struggling to hold this one. Unbelivable pushed on the high ground by Mulk, is forced away on that Fernando. He'll take control. Salvo and shots all missing. They do have the payload halted right now, but for how much longer as the rest of the team start to flood in? Double chicken will keep them at the advantage for a bit longer and let them set up here, but looks like
it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see, though, how we've had the payload controller hold that thought. Arcos pops a Hexafire, does manage to pick up one kill. No second kill on the end of that. Payload going to be stalled out for a second longer, but Mulk's pushing it forwards uncontested. No, Arcos picks up a double kill, picking up Mulk there. But it's interesting, I was going to say, how the payload controller has gone from being... We initially saw it start to be Barrack, because people thought Barrack was very good with the shields and shielding allies, all grouping up behind the payload. And then it transferred to Grok. And that's really what we saw through CB24 and CB25. Was Grok would be able to go onto the payload and ghost walk for an extended period of time, kind of just take it into overtime or keep on pushing it throughout heavy fire from a distance. And now it's like Fernando's really taken on that role. So you're very right in saying that there is no Fernando on the side of Fate. It does put them at a disadvantage with directly contesting the payload. So they have to kind of rely on taking out Mulk from range rather than anything else. But they do, of course, have skillganon running Drogos to do just that.
Yeah, they do have that expectorate spit, of course, knockback coming through. Menschmeyer takes down Marre, but SYER's going to pick up Unbelivable. Arcos goes down, but SYER again with a double kill on this payload right now.
8 seconds left, 7 seconds left, the timer ticking down. skillganon net to kill. Now we're sitting on the payload. There's 2 players on either team sitting here contesting it. There are a couple of turrets up, but Unbelivable gets a double kill on that. It's going to tick into overtime for just a second, but Smutney with another kill on the back end of that will keep everybody at bay. It looks like MULKMULKMULK decides not to charge in as Fernando will actually retreat and give this one up, but they do have the point cap advantage. 2 points to 1 lead TeamTeamTeam over Fate. And going to this next point, let's take a quick look at the burn cards and see which team may gain an advantage from these picks.
It should be the team coming forwards, Fate. The extra credits, of course, 200 from the defense. We'll have a lot more credits right now to work with over the side of Team Cubed, as we're seeing all of them with burn cards picked up. And this is the advantage as they start to roll forward. This is the momentum they need to go with this. As we're seeing, I think that's Cauterize on most of the members of Fate.
That's Cauterize on 2 members. That looks like either Gather or 3 members, sorry. Either Gather or Veteran on a couple more, but it's Nimble that I'm seeing. Picked up on all 4 members except Barak, who wants those more often shields. But hold that thought as Dragon Punch comes through, goes straight up into the air, goes down again, doesn't actually connect with anybody, does reposition into the back line of TeamTeamTeam. A chicken comes through onto just 1. A lot of damage following up on that. SYER, though, answers back. Unbelivable getting a kill in response immediately, but point control starting to go in favor of Fate. Arcos, what pops the Hexafire, drops 1. MULKMULKMULK under a lot of fire now, dives straight into the middle of all of Fate, and potentially there's going to be a mega turret pop. There it is, coming out of STURE right there, turning the fight with a double kill in favor of TeamTeamTeam once again on this point fight.
Turns it in his favor, but it's still 2 versus 2 in this one, as SYER and Unbelivable trying to keep the control they can. skillganon does get here in time. They do have control right now. The rest of the team are on their way. No one is on the point still, though. skillganon, very aggressive, is going to get collapsed on site, trying to shoot him out of the hair as SYER tries to find that one. Arcos forced out as well, as it looks like Mulk going very aggressive. Does have to pop the Immortal to stay alive. Hexifire's coming out as well. That's going to shoot skillganon out of the air. Not able to find a second kill with that one, but it looks like Marre's going to pick Menschmeyer up in the background, trying to dive that. Arcos does find SYER in return, and again, point control is just very even right now, with Fate slightly coming ahead due to their aggressive position on the point.
But it's very difficult for them to retain point control because there's Mulk always available to contest it on this Fernando. And once Mulk gets on, Mulk ain't getting off unless you kill him or force him out low enough. And now it's TeamTeamTeam with the point control advantage. There's going to be quite a lot of damage that needs to come out onto TeamTeamTeam in order to knock them away from this. The Barak fight is going up. There's a mega turret on the side of Fate Esports as they do net 1 kill for Smutney. Start taking back point control once again. The points are 76 and climbing in favor of Fate. TeamTeamTeam have to get back on here. And there's MULKMULKMULK just at the last moment, able to get back on and contest that point for a second. The chicken is good for TeamTeamTeam. They do chicken 1 member. There's a Hexafire in response to Arcos. Wipes out Mulk.
Pops the Hexafire. He takes down Mulk. That's a big target. Unbelivable finds SYER as well. And that is going to be the point going over to Fate Esports, making the comeback after that defense. Big part about that was that we saw Kamyker, he hit the chicken, only 1 member, but then the way that Unbelivable moved meant that there was no way that that Kamyker could actually finish him off. There was no return damage, and it was a wasted chicken, allowed his teams to get back up, and really just 1 member just not in that fight for it.
Oh, Dragon Punch doesn't connect to anything. skillganon once again using that, going deep, actually just covering ground towards the enemy base. MULK likely to fall here. Isolated 1 versus 3 right now. He's trying to stop the payload for as long as possible, and everybody's leaving the payload alone, distracted by Mulk successfully, who is able to mount up and utilizing that shield can run away again. And that's this super survivable Fernando. Picks up that equestrian card, mounts in under a second, has that 1,000 health shield if I'm not mistaken, and then just runs away to safety, heals up out of combat, and then straight back into it comes Mulk once more.
Nice freeze from Menschmeyer. That'll pick STURE up. Mulk back in this one, but again, this time he's 1 versus 5 in this. skillganon going to push forwards, try and pick up Pip. They're going aggressive for him as well. Unbelivable coming round. The pincer works out for them. They find that kill. Immortal was popped by Mulk as he's standing alone on the point, forced out of it.
Now the payload has made it through the cliff top choke point. skillganon going up into the air, looking to drop some damage over STURE's barricade, but STURE actually going to get a kill onto skillganon there, wiping that dragon straight out of the air. Payload being pushed forwards and forwards by Fate. Slowly but surely, but it's going to be contested once again by MULKMULKMULK as Mulk does respawn, gets into position. You got Barak on the top side looking to set up a defensive fortification for teams to kind of retain control of the high ground on the side of Fate. But all the while, the payload isn't in the base yet, and that's not really a particularly favorable position to be in unless the payload is in the base. Now with Cassie coming around the backside, put some pressure from Barrack, forced to dash away, and Mulk still sitting on this payload, preventing it from going anywhere. Arcos comes in to try and contest, but now Mulk, low on health, has been swapped out for Barrack, does go back to the base, is able to heal, and that'll be a thorn on the side of Fate as he's going to come back with full health in just a moment.
Marre with a great snipe as well, takes Smutny out, 15 seconds left on this, not really enough time for the rest of the team to react.
Very, very difficult for Fate to push through, and I think they'll give this up. You can see them starting to run away. They make their way towards it, but Fate realize that they're really going to gain nothing from taking this one to overtime. It's too difficult to break the base versus Fernando, but hold that thought as they come straight back in, but Kamyker answers back. There's a Hexafire, SYER netting a single kill, Mulk getting another kill, and that's Fate wiped. They look to go for the rope-a-dope, fool them into thinking they were retreating, and it did not play out for them. Now, 6 seconds left on overtime. Smutny about to fall. That's going to tick down. Skillganon goes up, can't make it to the payload in time, and that will be an equalization. 3 points to 3 are Fate versus TeamTeamTeam.
Big waste of ultimates there, as we saw the Chicken and Snowstorm both come out, despite the unrealistic scenario that was going to work. They now put themselves at a 3 ultimate advantage over the 2 ultimates on the side of Team Cubes. I think there was the Hexafire popped as well, so one ultimate in return for those 2, but right now they're sitting at 3 ultimates to 2, still slightly in the advantage here for this next fight if they can use them in time.
So the ultimate charges will, of course, charge up during this point fight, but it's all going to come down to positioning on this one. As look, the single flank comes out from MULKMULKMULK, spotted out, forced out by the full rotation on the side of Team Fate. But the Chicken is good. It hits 3. Skillganon up in the air, doesn't get hit by it, and Fate all seem to survive. Mulk picks up Menschmeyer. That's a big blow to Fate, and Mulk continues to go on the rampage, going to try and chase down Unbelivable on this pip now, who's just unable to get away from them.
Oh, but that Hexafire by Arcos in the balcony picks up 2 kills of his own. Looks like he's going to try and pick up Mulk onto this Fernando as well, who has to pop his Immortal, but it's not going to really work. That's a triple kill for Arcos coming into this one, as he's trying to look for this quadra kill possibly onto STURE, but I really think Mulk is, we've seen in the previous games, this Fernando was working so well, the Immortals with the rest of his team, comboing them together. Yes. Great play, I loved it. We've not seen him use it in the same way this series so far.
Hold on, thought as Mega Turret is actually popped by Smutny there, placed almost around the corner, but is immune mostly by Fernando. Keeping his regular turret safe for a second with a barricade is Smutny once again. The point control going in favor of Fate. But I agree with you on the point that this Fernando is just not being as effective, with the exception of attack and defend. They're not being effective in point control or as disruptive as we have seen them previously. And I'd put that down to the Cassie pick instead of Buck. You're not running around as a duo anymore. You're running around solo. I can hear Skillganon charging that Dragon Punch. Goes through, knocks out MULKMULKMULK. Goes to follow up on it. Oh, that's a double kill into STURE as well. SYER kicks on kill into Arcos in the backline. Stands on the point for just a second, but that's a Hexafire as well. Will he get it? Oh my gosh, it turns completely in TeamTeamTeam's favor.
They find the double kill there. Kamyker picks those up. They steal all the glory from Arcos, from SYER there with that Hexafire. Beautifully timed and placed. Did a lot of damage. And the rest of Fate, they'll have to re-coordinate and get back into this one, but I don't think they even have the time.
I don't think even if they had a straight run to the point, they'd get back there in time. This one will go to TeamTeamTeam, who are going to start pushing the payload out as usual. Actually, payload left behind in favor of instead going forwards with the push, looking to knock away all of Fate, who are trying to set up a very, very aggressive defensive position here, sort of right in this initial first choke point, looking for the spawn camp. And really breaking that line of defense is far more important than trying to push the payload up, because once the payload's there, I mean, it's another objective. You can't hide behind it. You don't have these long lines of sights anymore, and whilst you can kind of absorb some damage, or rather mitigate some damage by standing behind it, it does exactly the same to your enemies as well, and that's not what TeamTeamTeam want to do here.
Choke point coming through really well for Fate here. They find Arcos finds one with the Hexafire, falls back. I thought he was going to drop, but his team are there to support him as they pick up Mulk. They're Menschmeyer going very aggressive onto Kamyker, but he jumps back into a team fight they are losing. STURE and SYER pick up 2 kills of their own, and the choke is finally broke by the side of Team Cubed. They're now starting to push forwards onto the high ground. Arcos gets taken down. Skillganon does find the return kill onto SYER, but they've lost high ground control. Smutny goes up to try and take that back. Unbelivable there to support him. Payload, meanwhile, is still being pushed. Menchmire and Skillganon going forwards as well on the right side. They try to pick up Marre, go 1-for-1, and it's Smutny's duty left on this payload to keep it in.
But he's keeping it stalled well. In fact, he's left it alone now, looking to chase a kill. That potentially a misplay, as it does leave the payload open to contest right now. Mulk going to advance towards it, but is spotted by a turret and is automatically aimed on, of course, by that turret. Forces him away just to relocate and potentially go for a more aggressive play instead of a direct payload push. They want to get in behind this barricade that Smutny's placed right here. They want to kind of destroy him from behind, but actually Mulk goes directly onto the payload, pops Immortal, able to keep himself alive throughout all of that offense. Very low now, will be wiped out by Menchmire, and the high ground control still resides in TeamTeamTeam's favor.
TeamTeamTeam's favor until the high ground goes very severely in the favor of Fate. They find the kills they need to in the back, and they're now going to push forwards and wipe SYER out as well now. 15 seconds. I don't see this being possible for Team Cube to get back into. They might be able to pull off a clutch overtime, but it looks like they're being zoned out hard by the rest of Fate. Looks like Mulk, he's going in for the last second, does mount up and get it. They need to wipe him out if they want to keep this one. Nice storm, and they take him
perfect
out.
Kill. Perfect timing on that kill. Does wipe Mulk out just before the round ticks into overtime. So no overtime for TeamTeamTeam right now. And now Team Cubed, they do lead 1 point over Fate Esports, sitting at 5 comparatively to the 4. But Fate have the chance to equalize here. Burn cards coming out across both teams. A lot of nimbles once again. Menchmire yet to pick up burn cards. Hopefully they won't forget this time. But we do see a couple of Kronos picks up as well on the side of Pip, interestingly enough, which we have remarked on before, and as we expect on Barrack.
We're seeing Kronos on both backs as well, actually. So, you know, more barricades, more turrets. Definitely something to keep him a lot safer. Dragon Punch coming through, however, looks for the kill, doesn't manage to find it. Jumped out by Kamyker there. Ultimate pop by Marre, does get taken down, however, no increased damage for him. SYER does find skillganon. There's a great Hexafire from Arcos, picks up Mulk, takes him down. The rest of Fate pushing forwards. They find Kamyker. They're trying to find SYER and STURE as well. Can't manage to find him. SYER turns it around. He picks up Smutny. It's a 1v1 right now. Arcos versus SYER. SYER manages to win it out. The rest of Fate now crumbling. Unbelivable. Trying to find the kill. Still can't manage to find it. And SYER somehow lives through it all.
Last second emitter right there keeps SYER alive, but not for long as skillganon answers back with a vengeance, diving deep into the back line of TeamTeamTeam, who are all grouping up on the point. There's nobody really left to contest them as Unbelivable gets ricocheted into the wall there. Of course, increased ragdoll with a CB26 package. It's very, very entertaining to witness on kills. There's a mega turret popped there by Smutny, but it's not enough. It's all absorbed by the barricade, and now MULKMULKMULK goes up to zone, and TeamTeamTeam are just unstoppable on this capture point.
They're unstoppable right now. They're holding it. There's the Dragon Punch. Doesn't connect to run around the rows. He swings straight high. And Megatar is popped, but doesn't really get onto one. And there's the Hexafire as well. Was the communication mismade? TeamTeamTeam burst a lot of ultimates and don't get anyone with them. Completely miss. Skillganon picks up SYER. They go 1-for-1 trade right now. Menchmire, last man left standing on the point to try and deal with Mulk, and he forces him away. STURE does manage to take out Unbelivable, but Arcos is going to trade that one. And Fate, they've started to take back control once more of this point. There goes the Immortal, however, and Chicken. Great play by them. Mulk and Marre, they pick up 2 kills of their own. 96 points. Smutny back on the point, but it's not enough.
That was brutal. That was absolutely brutal seeing Smutny get ricocheted across the ground there. Capture point for their 2nd point in a row will go to TeamTeamTeam, and they could potentially win off this payload conversion. So don't be surprised if you see ultimates coming out swinging right here, as they don't want to give Fate the opportunity to come back into this game. They want to go out swinging into the first, with a first win, going into this best of 5 set, of course, as we will be seeing all 3 maps on rotation, and they want to carry on this momentum into the upcoming games.
And I tell you what, it's now starting to show, you know. Mulk is really getting those team play ultimates off. We saw him pop the Immortal there just to keep his teammate alive, Kamyker, and it really worked out for them. Chicken was popped, however, Unbelivable managed to find one. Arcos and skillganon going aggressive, but he gets sniped as he gets around the corner. skillganon picks up one onto Kamyker. Marre with a double kill onto Marre. They're forced very far back from the payload, but the trades are going very even right now. The respawns will start to come through on the side of Team Cube. skillganon managing to keep them ahead in this fight, but he's got to be careful here of the respawns.
And those respawns are in very close proximity to the payload still. Going to be very difficult if they all come through as a group of Fate to defend, but if they do succeed in doing so, they've wasted over half of the payload's total push time so far. It's got a minute left on the clock. It's starting to move forwards now, but it hasn't even reached the cliff top choke point yet, and it has to get through there, and Fate are pushed up even further. They're pushed up way past it, but hold that thought as the damage does come through. SYER getting one kill, but Unbelivable answers back in spades, and Fate, they're just holding here continuously and continuously, keeping allies alive. There's a chicken that hits one. skillganon gets another kill. Smutny and all of TeamTeamTeam are just being wiped out one by one by one.
Mega turret was huge there. Picks up one kill. That's a lot of damage to the second. And what are we... I don't know what we're witnessing here. The team that just won that point fight actually pretty well. They can't even get the push on right now. Team Cubed really struggling. And actually, this is what we've seen time and again with how Team Cubed cannot get this push off. We saw earlier, though, they were getting a very good push off with Fernando. But once more, Fate look like they've worked them out on this attack, and they're going to be able to take it on this one.
So Fate not going to be shut out this easily, and if Fate have indeed worked Team Cubed out, they have potential to come back. Got to remember that Fate did win the original series to advance straight through to the finals. Payload has now been taken into overtime, and all members of TeamTeamTeam are here, but Unbelivable takes out STURE. That's no barrack. That's dangerous because there's no barricade there. The Payload's actually going to have a successful defense. That's incredible. Fate Esports now 5-7. They have comeback potential. They can indeed win this game off a successful point capture and a successful payload conversion, whereas TeamTeamTeam are still at an advantage with 1 point capture to win.
And I tell you what, I think that's one of the first, I think it's the first aggressive hold I've seen like that work on Waterfall of all places. And I think it's because the spawn is so far away that you can't run in one by one like they were trying to do there. But you have the chance to group back up and go in as a 5, which is why I'm so surprised they were managing to hold it like that.
So, Title, before we get into this next point, which has actually spawned on mines, thoughts on the burn cards we've got on Fate once again? Blast shields across the board, which we haven't seen too often so far. Instead, electing to go for cards like Resilience. skillganon will dive in with the Dragon Punch not connecting, but yeah, blast shields across the board. Is it working out for them, do you think?
I don't think it's really working out. There's not many shields that are coming down from the side of Fate to really deal with right now. skillganon does get taken down slightly too aggressive as Team Cubed start to gain the advantage here on this point. Mega turret gets popped. There's the Hexafire as well. Arcos trying to deal some damage. Doesn't manage to find the second kill. Mulk picks up Smutny in the back, and now he's turned his attention to Arcos. He'll run straight into the face of SYER. Triple Chicken comes down to try and save him, but it's not enough. Unbelivable, the next one to fall in a few seconds now, as the rest of Team Cubed, they get point control.
Absolutely remarkable. I think if skillganon, and that's one thing I've been noticing, skillganon hasn't been hitting his Dragon Punch ultimates. He needs to take out Mulk with them, or the point control does go to the side with the Fernando versus no Fernando. You've just got an extra shield. You've got an extra high health body who gets in and starts to disrupt the backline, but skillganon does pop Dragon Punch, comes around the corner, he looks for somebody, he finds SYER. Whilst it's not the MULKMULKMULK pick we were hoping for, it's certainly a dividend to the side of Fate Esports, as they're in a lot of trouble here, as Mulk and Marre pick up Smutny and skillganon right now, an advantage once again to the side of TeamTeamTeam.
Huge chicken came through, knocking Marre out of the air just as he jumps. Arcos gets taken down as well, and Team Cubed looking like a very different team on this point fight after the attack.
And they will cap it, indeed. Oh, no blink. I thought that might have been a blink from Eevee, but actually it goes straight into the hut. Not there in time to contest, and Fate will lose out this first game. Team Cubed taking the initial game. A complete reversal of what we initially saw, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, yeah, a complete reversal from what we saw in the previous games, especially because
in those original semi-finals.
The semi-finals, we saw the side of the side of Team Cubed struggling to do anything apart from defend. This time, we see them winning the point fights extremely well in the second half of that game, and things turning around very back and forth series. In fact, very back and forth today completely between these two teams in the tournament.
With that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at the post-match scoreboard right now. So credits very high on the side of Fate, actually, as they are already farming the enemies on that last payload defense. A huge amount of damage shielded on Smutny. Good grief, Unbelivable with over 100,000 player damage. That's actually incredible. That's unbelievable, considering the next highest was Kamyker at 79,000. Anything you're really taking from this title?
I mean, the score... They're kind of backwards. That's what I'm taking. You know, you see this scoreboard. The team that won actually had less damage, more shielding due to the fact that they had a Fernando, but less damage, less kills. They had less score. It just looks like Fate. You know, they were playing better, and then they just let it slip.
Yeah, and they just didn't have the point control.
TeamTeam just turned it on them the moment they stopped giving that pressure that they were giving, especially in that attack. They went from that attack. They were doing loads of damage, getting all the kills. Great defense on the payload. One of the best I think I've seen in a while, being that aggressive.
Right.
And then they go to the next fight, and it's just, you know, you just fall over.
It's what it seems like. They go from being kind of players made of metal to players made of cardboard and just swept aside. And one thing that I'm definitely noticing in these team fights is that when Fate play around the point, there's nobody actually fighting from the point, so the cap doesn't stack up. Also, Mulk doesn't die. So we can see that, Mulk has 14 deaths. That's not the lowest in the game. That would be Unbelivable, sitting at only 9 there. But I've seen Mulk get out of so many situations by just mounting up, getting that extra 1,000 damage shield, running away from Fate, who go, oh, well, we can't really chase them because they're moving too fast. Let's give it up, focus on a new target. And then 10 seconds later, Mulk's back at full health again. And that's a problem which Fate have to deal with. But Game 2 is coming up just next. The map will be, of course, Temple Ruins before we proceed on to Enchanted Forest for our third game. This is a best-of-5 set, remember? So whilst we get the players ready, just let us know your predictions in chat. It's going to be interesting to see how you think this one will go, and if maybe Fate can make a comeback in this, or we might be going to the second best-of-5 if Team Cubed continue their momentum.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into this second game of the first best-of-5 series between Fate and Team Cubed. As we're seeing, getting into this game, what changes do we have going on?
No real changes apart from the lack of Fernando. MULKMULKMULK once again running this Eevee, and that's really what I'm excited to see, which could potentially run the game in their favor. Once again, we did see Team Cubed actually taking the first game off of Fate, leading 1-0. Now, the second one in Temple Ruins, let's see how it plays out. Menschmeiser, interestingly enough, switches to stand still at the very last moment as we do see resilience pickups on the side of Team Cubed. That's sneaky, that's cheeky, that's good play. Now, you might say that that's really not sporting-like, or perhaps that shouldn't be, you shouldn't be able to see players' cars before you spawn. But, you know, this is in the game. These are players taking advantage of this mechanic.
I tell you what,
let's see if it pays off.
I love it. The mind games are great. The mind games are great in this. As we start to see this fight around Canyon going on, Fate do switch around. They come around all the way from behind. They've not pushed into this point at all yet. Actually, I say that Team Cubed haven't. Fate are on the point, and they start to lose members, however, from the poke coming out from Team Cubed. SYER picks up a double kill. Mulk does get taken out in the back in return, but that's a 1-for-3 trade as Fate starts to lose control of this one. Great blast shower comes in, does get lots of damage off Unbelivable and Smutny both drop.
Unbelivable, wiped out there, but the regroup is going to come from Fate as the respawns do come through, and they already have 70 points on this capture point. All they need to do is get something like a good expect rate off. Wait a second, Mulk's back already. Mulk's going to start dropping damage, but they need a good expect rate on this capture point, and we could potentially see a capture point run from a knockback yet again, as we did see that one pretty almost infamously at this point on the side of Ronin versus Ascension in North America a couple of weeks ago. Ooh, chicken comes through onto the point though from Unbelivable. That's going to keep them CC'd for a moment, and the kills start to come through. Menschmeiser picking up one. We're going to see skillganon go up into the air. Skillganon, let's see his ultimate charge. Not enough for a Dragon Punch yet, but maybe available to save this capture point at the last moment if necessary. It's at 95, it's at 98, and that will go to Fate for the first point of this game on Temple Ruins.
and just not able to get back into things. STURE with a great shot takes out skillganon, however. They trade 1-for-1. Mulk does pick up Menschmeyer in the back, managing to do a little bit of work. Payload will get stalled out right now at the spawn point of the at the actual capture point. SYER and STURE, great job there as well. They pick up 2 kills of their own. Trying to find the kills, however, the spawns start to come through. SYER gets taken down. Menschmeyer trying to do what he can. Mulk as well traded back, but he found 1 kill of his own and still not able to start this push on the payload. Team Cubed doing a great job of just finding these kills.
And that's exactly what they need to do to keep the payload stalled. And the payload has been once again abandoned. We're seeing this happen time and time again. Just left for a second, and the person who respawns will kind of push it along for a little bit, and then, you know, pass off as a player up on the front making space might fall, as skillganon just has done. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe Arcos push out now.
Arcos
and
could
look to make some space.
Push out, but it looks like they're just going to start to go for a flank, as looks like STURE pushes straight out to the payload. He's trying to just keep it busy for as long as he can. Does die for it, but keeps it away. I think that Team Cubed realized that they are not great on this. Actually, no. Last time they played this map, they did pull a really good defense. So I'm not sure why they're going this aggressive, really.
But
when the
if I'm not mistaken, did they have Fernando
moving
on the last time they looked for a defense? And that might be make a bit of a difference here. They almost seem like they're playing like they expected Fernando to kind of pop out of nowhere and drop in with like, hey, I've got a shield for you, or hey, here's Immortal, or I'll hold the payload, you can retreat if you're low on health. And they just haven't got that luxury this game. They're having to play more at range, more around damage, and that means that when the attacking team gets on the payload, it's difficult to stop it in its tracks until it reaches yet another choke point. But it is stalled there now between rock and tree, between rock and not quite so hard place, but will be pushed further and further, almost at the gates right now.
SYER finds that kill onto Arcos, and they're just finding the frags right after each other. Nice freeze coming out onto Smutny. Will help that kill Menschmeyer, though. He's going aggressive inside the base. Does manage to find 1 kill onto Kamyker early before going in. But again, Smutny gets taken down on the point. There goes Menschmeyer as well. Looks like this defense is going to go in favor of Team Cubed, as Unbelivable also gets dropped. 2 members left on the point. There goes Arcos knocked away, and just as he's knocked away, skillganon gets taken down. Not even pushed into overtime. Great use of the disengage there.
So I was looking at the ultimate charges during that, and I think they're being saved now for the capture point, as Fate have started to realize that actually TeamTeamTeam have a slightly better point fight than they do. So we can see that skillganon's ultimate was channeled there, or was ready to use at the last engagement, but wasn't used. And Menschmeyer's ultimate should be ready by the time they all reach the next spawning capture point. Burn cards coming out across the board. A couple of resiliences on the side of Fate for the first time now, I think, as Mulk is actually running this freeze Eevee. So that'll keep a couple of players a little bit safer than otherwise. But mostly just this Nimbles pickup across the board, except on Smutny. And on the parallel side, we can see that Marre actually not running Nimble, which is unusual for Cassie, but running Wreck instead, looking to be the shield killer of the team.
Yep, looking to try and do damage. There's the ultimate tower that we mentioned. Great Hexafire comes out. That gets 2. Arcos picks up the 3rd kill. Double kill for him. Great use of the snowstorm as well. And that's 4 members down for the side of Team Cubed. And it's Pip. Actually, it's Eevee. Mulk went in for the dive. He went for the flank, but it didn't even matter. All of his team died.
We have seen this happen multiple times before. We see one player sort of push out on a flanking champion, and by the time they get to where they think the enemy's backline is, they realize that actually they're all in their own backline and they've killed their team and they're left alone. So Mulk able to put out a little bit of harassment. No massive damage coming through here though, but able to just maybe stall things out until their team is able to respawn and come through. But skillganon's having none of it. Nets a double kill there. Looking for the triple, goes up into the air. Unbelivable. No, does get the triple, does skillganon. Looking for a quadra kill now, but the mega turret is up on the side of Smutny. That'll zone out everybody, and Fate get the 2nd point capture of this game, leading 4 points to 1 versus Team Cubed.
They're doing a great job on this point fight as they chase down the kills as well. Looks like SYER up on the point, up on the high ground balcony, trying to do what he can, but they're all just going to jump up into his face. Menschmeyer and skillganon do what they can. Nice ice storm as well. That'll take down the turret and allow Menschmeyer to possibly win this 1v1, especially with the help of skillganon. They push forward. STURE goes down as well. Marre does manage to get there in time and pick up 1 kill of his own, and actually a second. Both him and skillganon go down. But look at the payload.
It's all distraction. It is absolutely all distraction. And Mulk does blink up and down from this high ground there, unable to be attacked by really anybody if they time their jukes right and time their shots. But they're in a bit of trouble now. Dewdrop and Ice Block doesn't actually find anybody with the freeze, but the payload's made it through this primary midpoint choke point, where it's very easy to set up ambushes around all the various corridors and doorways here. It has been stalled out briefly. It's starting to head back into this danger zone, but as the respawns come through, you might see it go back in favor of Fate. It entirely depends on how good the defense from TeamTeamTeam is.
TeamTeamTeam managing to hold them off here for the moment. Really like to see a hard flank come out from the side of Fate to get back towards this payload.
Oh, well, take a look at skillganon.
Like they've got in position. Arcos pops the Hexafire, but he gets taken out. Hexafire of his own. SYER pops that one, going to try and find a kill, but great arc shot from Unbelivable takes him out. Mulk does manage to get skillganon in the back as he starts to go in. There's the Ice Storm onto Unbelivable on the payload. They find that one, especially with a Mega Turret help from Smutny. They get everyone off of the payload. It's just, actually it's STURE's Mega Turret. Smutny does get taken down in the end.
Smutny, though, sitting at 50% ultimate charge. No Mega Turret up and available, but skillganon has his Dragon Punch available, and so does Unbelivable with his Chicken. So we could see the regroup come through here, the ultimate's used, but in all honesty, I sort of expect Fate to go, oh, well, we'll just farm credits here, and we'll, you know, keep them on edge, and if we can push the payload through, we'll do it, because it's a great opportunity to score more points. But if not, don't worry about it. Save ultimates for the next capture point. It's CB24 meta again, where it's the Wombo ult combo right at the beginning of that point fight that really decides the initial victor, and it's working out for them quite well so far.
It's definitely working out for them as they start to push forwards in this one. They do manage to start to gain some ground as the timer is ticking down. Good Chicken is popped. Overtime comes out as they're trying to push this one forwards. 3 versus 2 right now as the fight 1v1 still going on in the back. Mulk does get taken out by skillganon finally. Overtime ticking down. There's no one on the payload. There goes the Dragon Punch to save the day. They get the kill on SYER as well, trying to push this one forwards, and Fate converted!
What a phenomenal play.
What a play by skillganon!
The Dragon Punch as he zooms past the payload,
and
it takes it back into overtime.
SYER.
And that was so important, as that ruckus is vital for the defense. If SYER had Hexafire up, or if SYER just stood and body blocked it, they may have been able to defend. But with the man advantage, Fate just knocked them down. And once again, the burn card picks come out pretty much same across the board. A lot of nibbles on the side of Fate. But the ultimates, they're not actually charged up on the side of Fate this time. It's sort of even across the board if you average out all the players. Menschmeyer may be able to do something with that Ice Storm, but it's best used in conjunction with other ultimates. So actually, Fate need to play this one a little bit more carefully until at least Mega Turret is up and available, and perhaps they wait for a shield to come down, but they go in deep and aggressive for initial point control, getting flanked out, and there goes the Ice Storm for a second, just forcing enemies away.
Forces them away as they find the kill onto Marre right at the start. skillganon picking that one up. Menschmeyer does get taken down for his aggressive Ice Storm play, but they force them away still. They are currently capping the point, keeping the point control on. skillganon goes aggressive and gets taken down. Mega Turret is popped by Smutny, but blocked out and Chicken. There's the Hexafire from Arcos, but again, barriers in the way. Unbelivable finally finds the kills that they need. Fate find a double kill, keeping themselves in this fight right now. Chicken gets thrown, doesn't hit anyone, however, as Unbelivable forced back in this one, but look at the point control. 65 still ticking away. Fate still capturing this one. Unbelivable. Another kill onto STURE and the rest of Team Cubed. They cannot get close to this one.
I'll hold that thought as there's a blink. There's the ultimate coming in from MULKMULKMULK, but they're just evaporated by skillganon sitting up on that pillar, and the objective control will go in favor of Fate. Fate capturing their, what is that? Is that their 4th control point this game? I think indeed. No, it's their 3rd, as they did get a successful payload conversion last point. And now the kills are coming out strong for Fate again. They leave the payload behind briefly as they look to push out, picking up this pesky barrack on the back end, but then will push out, looking to make space for the payload because they have win potential here. This could be the first game of this set going in their favor off this payload push, so they'll definitely take the opportunity to convert it if they can, but failing that, they can win off a single defense as well. They're in a precarious position. Title, how did TeamTeamTeam come back from this?
TeamTeamTeam, they need to make this defense right now. They need to push forwards and hold them in the choke point. But whilst I say that, it doesn't even matter. They need to make sure they're paying attention to this flank going on right now in their base. Menschmeyer and Mulk having a fight. He's not going to win that one. Wins the 2v1. Mulk goes down. That's a member down already on this fight. And it looks like Menschmeyer is going to start to cause hell. There's a 3-man snowstorm. That comes out. Not able to find any kills, but he gets picked up. skillganon goes aggressive for the kills as well. Doesn't find it. It's 2 versus 2 on this point defense. Unbelievable. Pops the chicken, but it's not enough. Kamyker finds that one. Looks like Team Cubed will be able to make this defense for now.
Arcos gonna be wiped out there right at the end, and that's a full wipe for Fate as the retreats come back. They look to regroup and wait to push again. skillganon does have ultimate available, but it puts Fate in a very precarious position because now with the members of TeamTeamTeam spread, but looking at all these choke points, there's no easy way into the base for any single member of Fate apart from skillganon. With that Dragon Punch, he could go through, and if he's gonna wipe out any target, in all honesty, I want to see him aim with that Dragon Punch for either Ruckus or Barrett, because I think those are the 2 key picks right here. Hexafire and Mega Turret are just so powerful for defense.
Honestly, I just don't think using the ultimates here is really worth it. Fate, you know, you look at their ultimates, they have skillganon with his, but the rest of Team Cubed all have their ultimates ready. If you could make them use them, then great, but you want to start trying to charge the side, yours on the side of Fate. Remember, this next point fight is going to be very important. Even if they don't get it, if they have the ultimates to make the defense, it could be huge for them.
So it's all about the baits here, you're saying. It's all about trying to bait out some of those ultimates from the side of Team Cubed. As Mulk pops that Ice Storm there, there's one. If we can get the Hexafire, or potentially if we can get the Mega Turret coming out of STURE, that'd set Fate up nicely for the next capture point.
They're going to use
pushing
This
through.
push is going through. Chicken comes out, actually, from the side of Team. Actually, that's from the side of Fate as they pop that
There we go. There's the Mega
Turret.
And that's exactly as we may have predicted. They went for the baits. They forced out those ultimates, and whilst Chicken is a very valuable point fight ultimate to have burnt right there, you got to remember that Unbelievable with this Malady pickup is going to be doing so much damage when they land an initial shot onto a group of enemies. That ultimate will charge up really, really quickly. And since almost all ultimates they're almost already on the side of Fate. This is dire now for TeamTeamTeam. They need to pull off the impossible coming through right here. And I mean, who's really responsible for it? Where does this super play come from to kind of go for the reverse sweep and lead 2-0 versus Fate?
I mean, it's going to be rough for them right now. They've got to try and make a really great play from that Hexafire. SYER and Marre have to pull this one through. SYER has to get the Hexafire of a lifetime right now. Menschmeyer, however, he's going deep. Here comes the Dragon Punch as well. Doesn't quite connect. Good dodge roll away from that, but it doesn't matter. Marre goes down anyway. skillganon is traded out, but sure, he's going to roll back into the team. There's the Hexafire from Arcos. He doesn't manage to pick up Eevee in the ice block. Turns around, gets Mulk last second. There's the Held Nugget as well. Chicken comes through just last second, and that's going to keep Team Cubed in this one as they make a turn on that fight that was looking so dire for them.
Now, Menschmeyer, the last player available, does have the freeze off onto Ruckus there. Able to blink away, able to possibly pop SYER in just a second as skillganon goes up and over that rock. Looks to drop some damage onto the enemy team right now, but he's caught between 2. Does get wiped out immediately. And now point cap advantage is going in favor of TeamTeamTeam. They're not going to be shut out this easily, but the ultimates, Smutny still has that Mega Turret up. There's comeback potential. If he pops it here, that could be devastating, but no, he's evaporated. Just the damage coming out from Pip and Cassie and Barrett.
From SYER. That picks up Unbelievable as well. Looks like TeamTeamTeam, they don't want to take any risks here. SYER with the double kill. They are using their ultimates extremely aggressively. Even if it's only for 1 or 2 kills, it's not the play of the game, sure, but it is such a good use of them right now when you are 8-4. One mistake and you lose the game. You cannot hold anything back.
But here's the tough part. TeamTeam have to make, or TeamTeamTeam, excuse me, they have to make space right now. They have to be able to convert this payload because Fate, leading with 8 points, can gain a single point off a successful defense, and the ultimates are mostly down on the side of TeamTeamTeam right now, whereas Fate retain them all. So the advantage right now goes to Fate just through sheer, I guess we'll say, sheer ultimate pressure, and this is going to rely some careful flanking, some careful flight time, and maybe some good ambushes to set up on the side of TeamTeamTeam to really push this one to completion. Let's see if they can pull it out as that Chicken comes out on the side of, was that the side of Fate there?
That was the side of Fate. They use everything on Kamyker there, blow him up, but they trade 1 for 1. There's another snowstorm coming through. There's the Mega Turret as well on the point. Doesn't manage to find anyone. Arcos picks up Mulk in the base, but Smutny goes down from his aggressive play to hold the payload. payload off. They use a lot of their ultimate. skillganon still with his Dragon Punch. There's a great freeze from Menschmeyer. That'll pick up STURE. Arcos going further forwards, dodges the fire of SYER from the side as the payload holds it out for the moment in this very, very prominent choke point, but for not much longer.
No, the respawns have come through. The turret is placed down. The barricade is there, and it's enough to hold off the aggressive push from Team right now. You've got to watch out for Mulk blinking on the backside, though, but the kills are coming through. I just want to point out, Marre on this Cassie is on a 9 streak right now. That is terrifying. And whilst Cassie can't get up to the high ground as easily as you might expect, or she has to run right into the enemy base and up those stairs to be able to get any kind of elevation, she's great at taking out these airborne targets. Whilst, yes, she does have a projectile-based weapon. She can just...
Arcos with the Hexafire, he picks up one. Menschmeyer takes down Mulk inside the base. He gets a freeze off as well. Dragon Punch, that takes out one. Unbelievable with the kills. There's the Hexafire as well. skillganon goes down. That's a clean wipe. Actually, Hexafire didn't even kill anyone.
Hexafire got eliminated. skillganon able to go up in the air and just juke it out, picking up a kill onto SYER instead, and that's a great hold. There are 15 seconds left on the clock. The blink came out from Eevee, but the counter blink with Wormhole is back. Oh, great freeze, traps Barrack in the middle of rocket boots there. You're not getting anywhere near this payload, and whilst there is a pip on the payload right now and the chicken has come through, there are only 3 seconds left. It will be ticked to overtime at this rate, and it has to be ticked to overtime in order for Team to come back in, but it's looking desperate for them. Kamyker and Mulk, though, look to change this around, blinking back in, trying to drop the damage onto the payload here, just keep themselves in the game, but it's not enough. Fate are going to come out on top of this, and I don't see any way back in.
Marre does go down, and there's the Mega Turret, however, from STURE, doesn't manage to find it. Unbelievable takes him down just in time, and Fate, they take game 2 in what was the most convincing manner I think I've seen in this series, or the last series as well.
I mean, they won that entirely off those captures, right? Yes, they got one payload conversion, but really it was all about the point fight there. And it was good ultimate coordination. We've seen in CB25 and now CB26, ultimates kind of used more willy-nilly. Comparatively to CB24, when it was all about that, well, we're going to pop Tempest and we're going to pop Dome Shield on the point and, you know, RNG wins. And I kind of like the more, shall we say, liberal use of the ultimates in the game. I think it makes it more exciting, makes for some better play opportunities, but Fate just having control of those capture points so well landed them out on top. You can see there, once again, the team with lower credits actually takes the game, this time going to Fate Esports.
Definitely going over to the side of Fate in this one as they pull forwards, and actually what I think is one of the most impressive plays of the day with skillganon's Dragon Punch. That was the most unreal play I have ever seen in my life. I don't know if it was... I mean, it looked planned. I can't see how he would have just gone for the Dragon Punch and just by chance flown by.
Oh yeah, no, he's like, well, I can make it to the payload with Dragon Punch. I'm gonna keep on ticking it into overtime. Oh look, I got a kill on the back end of that. Well, what a happy accident that is. Yeah,
they just... Unreal play. I want to say unbelievable, but he's already on the team pulling out some great damage with 81k. I mean, look at that.
Biased across the board in game. No, but very closely followed by Marre, though, on that Cassie. Definitely not something to be trifled with. Positive KD seeing at 12, 11, and 29 there. That scout allowing her to be part of so many kills on the side of Team. But alas, not quite enough to actually net the game there. So we will be going to game 3 with the scoreboard even at 1 game to each side. Next map up is Enchanted Forest. Join us after this short break for that game and let us know your predictions in chat.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back into this third game of the best of 5 series between Fate Esports and Team Cubed. We're getting into this one very shortly, and do we have any changes coming out here, Vox?
Well, the main one that I'm looking at is Mulk, no longer on the Eevee, back on Fernando, the pick which really sort of brought them success with that first initial game, allowed them to have better point control. We'll see how it plays out on Enchanted Forest, where perhaps the verticality might pay off in areas, but otherwise there are not many high platforms in this particular map. The first capture point is on Market, on the right-hand side of your minimap, and you can immediately see players not fighting anywhere near it, but this Fernando pick is going to pay off very, very well. Menschmeyer, actually, though, picking up the first blood there, unable to keep the team shielded is Fernando there. Oh my gosh.
Kill. Menschmeyer going crazy on that one. He picks up the triple kill. Fate completely wiped the side of Team Cubed. They pick up the first kill and then just clean forwards from there.
What? What happened there? Because I saw Mulk in the backline, and then they just didn't care about him. They go, this Fernando isn't dealing enough damage. They aren't running with a buddy or a parallel, and just leave him alone. And then Fate just clean up. I mean, really, what happened there? You can see that Kamyker has resilience, but I don't see a burn card advantage. It's just pure better positioning and outplay that happened there on this side of Fate.
Mulk goes on the point. They're all just going to turn on him, however, though. When they need to focus him, they definitely do, as he goes down straight away. Smutny finds that one. Here's a great chicken. Chicken onto 2 members. 2 kills picked up from it. SYER did manage to find 1, but he was taken down instantly. And it's just STURE left on this one afterwards.
Going to be unable to contest. Will can see the point, potentially back off STURE, netting a kill of their own. That'll help out with burn cards a little bit. Going to rocket boots away back to the safety of their own team. As STURE now in a lot of trouble. Going to be focused down by Drogo. skillganon get a credit for a kill onto STURE right there. And the payload all the while starting to push up. So really this is quite remarkable. We saw TeamTeam at least put up a fight in the last games, but Fate they've just stomped them for this first capture point. It's remarkable.
This first point has just been so heavily in their favor. I mean, we saw this in the first game, actually, in the first series. In the second and third game, we saw those huge point fights going in Fate's favor, and then just winning not getting the defense off.
Right.
Or should I say, not getting the attack off. Then we saw
Fate not be. They weren't able to convert that
defense.
payload. They couldn't break the defensive choke point of Team Cute. I think we've got a pause coming through right here, if I'm not mistaken. No players running in midair, so not a stasis mode issue. So one of the players has paused on one of the teams. So let's take a look at builds whilst we're here, and we have the opportunity to. So I want to point out Marre still on Cassie, being that shield killer with Big Game Hunter and Rekka picked up as the burn card. How do you think that's going to pay off this game? Because I mean, so far it's done nothing, but there was so much damage coming out of them last game. It might be a turning point.
The Rekka would be good in dealing with the barricade if they were trying to do something like a ranged composition, because, you know, Marre can just hit away at that barricade, tap it down, easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. I couldn't resist from ending that, I'm sorry. But yeah, they can take down the barricade from distance, and they're fine. Issue is they're playing a composition where they want to be up in the face. They're running proximity on Ruckus. They've got Mulk on that Fernando. They're just trying to go forward so often, and it just doesn't work.
So you think that the team perhaps being a bit too split up is split into these this backline frontline group and a bit too easily dismantled by Fate as they push in a lot of players?
Especially when they've got all of their tank and front lines, all of their threats to Eevee, Mulk, SYER, even to extent STURE, all very far forwards. Menchmai, we saw in that last fight, he just went off straight away in the backline, picks up 1 kill, picks up a second, and I mean, I don't know, how do you think they need to be countering that?
I'm really not sure right now. I mean, not separating the players is great. Mulk needs to act a bit more defensively, I feel, in that last team fight, as I did see a lot of separation going on right there. And it's that it comes down to, but also their spatial and positional awareness. I don't think they both expected to meet each other down that flank spot. And when they did, Fate was just better prepared, it would seem. Now, I just want to point out on the burn card on Smutny right now, okay? So we started off the game. Smutny didn't pick up a burn card. Take a look at that. 400 credits. Chronos there, reducing cooldowns by 20% across the board. So what Smutny's done is they've waited for the first capture point to go through, stacked up an extra 200 credits, purchased that Chronos pick just in the hope that the extra barricades will help them potentially convert this payload. And, well, we'll see if it works out in their favor or if it's a bit of a unworthwhile investment.
Yeah, we do have a second pause coming out here just after that last pause, which is against the rules, but we've been told it was actually caused by the pause itself, unfortunately. So they're just going to try and get that all sorted, make sure everyone's ready to get this defense going and keep things rolling right now. Fate, they're looking to try and keep the momentum from the last game going, which they dominated heavily, and take a 2-game advantage in this one. Of course, we are currently 1-1, his first best-of-5 series. We are on Enchanted Forest right now in the cycle. Next map will be going to the first seed, which will be Fate. So Fate will decide the next map. And then, of course, it would be back to Team Cubed to decide the last and final map, should we get to it.
Whilst we're waiting here, just for the Just for everybody to get back from the pause, make sure there are no bugs going through with unpausing. Can we go into free cam mode a second and just take a look at where the payload is? As I want to really be able to see, there's this little fallen tree that the payload is sitting under right now. And it give us a nice overview of the remodeled entrance to the Enchanted Forest map. Now, if you can see where the payload is, you've got that fallen tree, goes up to a rocky platform which you can stand on. So there's a new high ground elevation area there. You see that the original little bridge coming over the little wooden balcony has actually gone. The interesting thing is you can walk down that tree trunk, you can walk back up it, but you can't jump unless you have a movement ability from that rock to the balcony leading into your opponent's base if you're attacking. Now, Tattle, how do you think that really sort of changes the play dynamic of this map at all? Because again, it has been shrunk, but only really on this side of the map, on this control point.
I love this new way to climb up, especially because you can't actually, as you mentioned earlier, I think you can't make it across that gap if you're coming back up into the base with just your mount, with your horse. You actually need to be using a movement ability, which means that, you know, it's going to cost you a movement ability to get into the base still. It is, however, a lot easier for players to contest that high ground by being able to get up to an area where you can get to it. You know, an issue we saw with the previous design that they had with this area on the map with the high ground was that you couldn't shoot up to the high ground without going up there yourself. Whereas this allows you to not only get into the high ground very, a lot easier than before, but also you can contest the other person's high ground without directly needing to use your movement ability to get to it.
Right, you get a barrack up there, and you're going to have trench warfare between those two barricades, and that will give a significant advantage to the team that can actually net that high ground. Not because the attacking team necessarily want to take that balcony spot for themselves, although it does provide a useful entryway for champions like EV, Drogoz, Androxus, Pip, as you can get across there with Weightless, but because it means that when you're going from your spawn to the payload location, you won't be barraged along the way and poked down. And now that Grok isn't being run in the main team comps, now that that healer isn't really present, we're seeing a lot more of these shorter fights. We're not seeing the same degree of combat healing which we've seen previously, and we've not seen the same degree of just, you know, point or damage immunity from Ghost Walk coming out to escort the payload. So interesting. Pause has actually unpaused right now. Clients haven't frozen, so we'll be proceeding as normal. Back on the payload, Fate starting to push through, able to get a little bit of an advantage here. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Fate trying to take the advantage right now. It does look like they're going aggressive. Menschmeyer goes forwards with that snowstorm. Doesn't manage to pick anyone off. Here comes the Dragon Punch, however. Doesn't manage to get anyone actually caught on the wall there, unfortunate. And not able to get anyone with that. Bit of a wasted ultimate, but Unbelivable takes down Kamyker in the back. SYER does his work to trade that onto skillganon. But right now, 2 versus 3. Mulk trying to pick off the barrack. Of course, Smutty tries to take him down. There's the mega turret. It's going to be mainly blocked out by Mulk and his shield, but it's not going to do enough. There goes the immortal. STURE comes in himself and drops his own mega turret. That's going to deal some damage. Marre gets taken down, however. That's the kill in advantage for Fate.
And whilst Fate do have the kill advantage right now, they are potentially going to once again save their ultimates for the next capture point control. As we saw in the last point fight, they had a dominant control over that area, but they're going to push forwards all the while, actually. Smartly on this barrack going to push through, skillganon netting a kill for themselves, and the payload is rapidly nearing their enemy's base of Team.
skillganon goes in, he's 2v1, picks up 1 kill on his own, and then just as he gets traded out, Menschmeyer goes in, picks up another, but the point fight on the payload, just as overtime ticks through, starts to come out. Great chicken from the side of Unbelivable. 2 kills, however, go in the favor of Team Cubed. They're starting to trade things back. Marre and STURE, they pick up another 2, and it looks like Fate have been wiped out.
No way to get back in. skillganon are going to dodge away, trying to avoid giving the enemy team any more burn cards right now. And Team Cubed will, of course, gain a single point to that, making the scoreline look like 2-1 currently in favor of Fate. Next capture point about to spawn. Let's take a quick look at the burn cards coming out. Going to see, once again, Kronos picked up on Barrack, as per usual. Potentially going to be picked up on STURE here as well, as STURE's amassed enough credits, which I expect. I can see definitely a couple of veterans coming out now. In fact, 4 veterans coming out on the side of TeamTeamTeam. Exactly, and we've talked about, whilst there are cauterize on the other side, we've talked about before how now that there's no combat healing, being able to heal up out of combat with the card Veteran so rapidly is very, very valuable, and actually a worthwhile investment of your credits at times.
as well as that, they're coming back from a card disadvantage due to that defense. So this is going to be rough for the side of Fate. Does get the freeze off onto SYER in the back, drops the snowstorm, not able to pick anyone up, however. That just gets wasted and blown. It does hold them off of the point for now. Right now, Fate in the advantage with 29. Hexafire gets popped. Dragon Punch comes through. No kills either way still. Mulk very low. Marre does manage to pick up skillganon. Same with Kamyker picking up a kill onto Arcos. Favor going into Team Cube's favor right now. They're looking for the rest of this fight, trying to find the kills they need, and now they turn their attention to the point. Mega turrets popped from Smutny. That's going to start dealing damage, but blocked out by a tree. Hexafire from SYER. That might pick up Smutny, but still doesn't find the kill. STURE finally finds that one, and so close on so many of these ultimates, just not able to net the kill, however.
And what I find quite peculiar here is that nobody was on the capture point for all of that fight on the side of Fate. Yes, they got 38 points on there, but they could have been sitting at 70 if they just rotated out members as they retreated to heal. And in order to not do so, they've either got to be very confident in their ability to just sort of wipe and roll over TeamTeamTeam, or, you know, force them back off the point if they lose the advantage, and it's going to be the latter which they're going to try to do here. They got a Fernandez to deal with on the capture point. They have to focus them down, but all the while damage is coming out on the flanks, as we can see SYER on this ruckus look to flank, going up behind Pip. There's a turret protecting him here, but that could be in trouble. There's a chicken that comes out huge from the side of Unbelivable, but Unbelivable is actually wiped out again, and point control going to TeamTeamTeam this time.
Pops the chicken, but he pops it on them when they have a mega turret up. You can't chicken that. That's just going to burn him down. And Team Cubes, they take point control.
And that is incredible. Team Cube answer back. They lead 3 points to 2 right now, but we've seen this before, the back and forth that's come through until one team really gets into their stride. And I'm honestly surprised at how little of an impact Fate had on that capture point fight. I mean, they took the first one with such control. Now, is that maybe a misplay coming from the side of Fate, or is that Team really starting to work out Fate's point control?
I think it was the use of ultimates early on that were very early, but not able to actually find the kills. So really misused there for the amount of not enough value coming out of them. And we're seeing now the attack coming through. It looks like Kamyker picking up Marre. He's using that tree to great advantage, just holding that high ground against the enemy whilst he's still on the defense. He's still on the attack and holding the high ground without even being inside the base. Marre is back up, and he's going to start to 1v1 him once more. The rest of the team on the payload. Mega turret does get deployed onto Mulk. That's going to try and keep them at bay for now. They're still holding this choke point very aggressively with the use of barricade, and SYER finds the first kill. There's a huge chicken comes out though, however.
Dragon Punch
comes in. SYER gets taken down, trying to find the rest of the kills, but Marre, he's finding the return kills. Finds a double kill, looking for the triple. Kamyker picks that one up, and they're going to push this payload through.
It's going to reach the gate choke point, at least going to go all the way through if they're not careful. Fate do have respawns coming up right now, but they're far away from the payload on this particular map. The respawn area being significantly further away.
Arcos pops that onto SYER, but he gets taken down by Marre straight away. Great job by him to pick that frag up so early into the ultimate. Takes it off the face. Meanwhile, Mulk is forced out of this one, forced away from the payload in the base. Smutny finds the kill onto SYER, and it looks like they might be able to hold them. It is very close, however. The rest of Team Cubes looking like they're getting ready to push in for a final one here. Marre gets taken down, however, by Arcos in the back. Mulk looks like he's going to try and find him, but he gets away for free, and the payload is going to be held in this door. 10 seconds remaining. Team Cubes have one chance to make a final push here, and it looks like it's coming right now. There's the Hexafire from SYER trying to find the frags. Mulk goes in deep. Great chicken, however, keeps him from popping any ultimate of any kind. The frags, however, they're going to go straight over to Team Cubes. There's a double kill for them. Payload pushing through. Marre gets on to be picked up for a double for STURE. Unbelivable finds the first frag, but that's a triple for STURE. They convert the payload.
30 seconds.
Great play right there. Nice ultimate coordination at the end. The Hexafire didn't really pull out much, but it generates panic, right? It generates panic in the enemy team as all of a sudden they go, oh, we've got to have a barricade, or we've got to dive behind cover. And with that distraction in mind, I mean, it just keeps people busy enough that the side of Team could just roll around the back and start cleaning people up one by one. The kills just went in their favor. The respawns went in time, and due to the lack of that such close proximity from conversion point to spawn point on Enchanted Forest, they just didn't get to the payload in time to stop the defense. defense. So great play from Team right there. Mulk on a 15 streak right now. That's terrifying. I've got another word for it. That is terrifying to see a Fernando on a 15 streak. They should be being wiped out at the forefront of all of these fights instead of, you know, sort of devastating them and staying alive for as long as they are.
Skillganon, mate. You're missing your burn cards. This isn't going to go well for them right now. Burn card disadvantage in their favor right now. Team Cubed ahead by 3 cards due to skillganon being behind. He gets taken down as well. SYER aggressively goes for him, takes him out. Ice is popped. Arcos picks up SYER in return, however. That's a great value return kill when you look at what was actually lost there, and with the cards being down. Mulk does find Unbelivable and actually gets chickened out, however, on the side of Fate Esports. They start to drop. Mulk picks up Arcos. Marre goes aggressive, doesn't quite find Smutney, but STURE picks that one off the back.
But no points at all on the capture point. In fact, no, let me correct myself. 2 points in favor of Fate. We do have a pause coming through once more, as there appears to have been a crash. We'll get back to you as soon as we know some more info about that. But only 2 points right now, despite this fight that's now leading a Fernando with a 17 streak, which is leading Team heavily dominating Fate Esports. You do have ultimates coming through on Fate Esports relatively soon, but it's looking dire for them. They might actually be wiped out here. If this goes in favor of Team, that'll be a game advantage. Only 1 more to win to push them through to the second best of 5 tonight. So what do Fate Esports really have to do to come back from this? Because they seem to be falling apart after that first capture point.
They just weren't able to really get the ultimates to connect and the ultimates to go off. The coordination with that fight wasn't really in their favor, and we saw in that last one as well. They find a few frags, but again, no real clean wipe. This is the thing, when we're seeing we're seeing lengthened out long team fights. Team Cubed start to come ahead in things, but when we're seeing Fate take the advantage, it is with big ultimates, big momentum swings, and huge plays right now, and they're not able to get them off.
They've got to get that skillganon ultimate off onto Mulk or something just to shut down that Fernando, because they are on a tear right now. Their ultimate is available, and with the capture point going to be under heavy contention in just a moment, that might just win them the point. Now, ultimates on the side of Fate coming up in a second. We do have Unbelivable with Chicken ready. Arcos does have Hexafire ready, but everybody else is sitting at either 20% or 0 in terms of skillganon, and that could mean the difference between this point being contested briefly or captured by Fate Esports. So, could go either way.
Could go either way right now for sure. There is as you said, the ultimates are down for both sides of the team really, and no real big play going to be possible for them, so they're gonna have to try and work things out, try and make it back into this point without that big momentum that they're going to be able to use from ultimate plays.
Right.
I'm interested to see how they do this.
So I'm thinking positioning, right? Because if you haven't got ultimates and you're not winning the flat-out one-on-one fight, maybe because of your team comps, maybe because of your mechanical skill, who knows? You got to go for positioning, right? You have to have some way to take the edge in these games. And if Fate Esports happen to have the better positioning, happen to be able to catch Team by surprise, then they could absolutely do it. But Team just seem to have great spatial awareness right now. They're not being caught. Besides that first capture point, I should correct myself there. Besides that first capture point when they wiped, they're not getting caught out like they were beforehand, and I think this is really playing to their advantage. Now we can go through and just examine some builds again whilst we're paused. Let's talk about Ruckus, because we've got a difference in Ruckus builds here, if I'm not mistaken. Just gonna have a quick nosy. We do indeed. SYER and Arcos are running very slightly different builds. Tattle, if you wouldn't mind taking us through this, I'd be very grateful.
SYER is running, he's going through that Proximity 2, Heat Diffuser 4, No Chill 4, Nanotechnology 1, and Wear and Tear 1, whereas on the other side we have Arcos running that Proximity 4, No Chill 4, Heat Diffuser 2, Nanotechnology, and Extended Magazine. So we're seeing a difference in the common cards there, but the big difference is in the points which they're spending on them. Proximity 3 for the side of for SYER, whereas we're seeing the extra point put into No Chill, whereas on the side of Fate, Arcos putting the extra point into Proximity.
So what we're seeing as a constant is No Chill 4, and that allows you to you get 80% of your movement speed back when you or you increase your movement speed while dual firing by 80%, which allows Ruckus to kind of be hypermobile, be very, very powerful still. And I like the pickup of Heat Diffuser 4 on SYER, as well as Wear and Tear 1, because, I mean, Heat Diffuser, that halves the cooldown of Emitter, which means more shields for you. And if you're not running a heavy shield composition, and then your enemies aren't picking up Wrecker, that's an extra 1,000 health every 8 seconds for you.
Yeah, and I really want to see how this series keeps developing. We're seeing that
Ooh, do you think we'll see any mid-game build switch-ups? Because I'm just noticing that Menschmeyer still running Frigid Field there, but there are resiliences being picked up across the other side on Team. Do you think potentially we'll see a standstill come out there instead?
We are seeing that the players are developing slightly. I think, really, Team Cubed, I think, are developing more around the playstyle coming out over this series. Fate, of course, they won the previous game, so still not able to really change their playstyle and the meta to adapt to Temple Ruins, it seems. But they're definitely performing a lot better on Enchanted Forest, in fact, ahead in Enchanted compared to last time.
So yeah, last time you did remark on the fact that TeamTeamTeam, they were expected to pull ahead on Enchanted Forest because, you know, they come from TQM, which were just dominant on this map, and they didn't show up in the first game we saw in the semifinals, or the third game rather, between TeamTeamTeam and Fate. But as the unpause comes through, let's check into the capture point. 12 points and rising is the capture in favor of TeamTeamTeam right now, and players from that side pushing out to zone.
Yeah, the rest of Fate will start to reassemble and get themselves ready for another attack. Actually, it looks like they're just going for the players outside of the point right now, holding them away from this one. Now, that's actually a good idea. I think they'll keep them split if they can collapse on the ones on the point in coordination right now. This could go very badly for Team Cubed. Mega Turret does get popped. Its ice blocks out. Great play there by Menschmeyer, blocks all of it. skillganon picks up STURE in the back. The rest of the team trying to swing around. Arcos versus SYER. There's a Hexafire. He'll win that fight for sure.
And now the point, no players on it, but in full contention. Fate able to get some cap off here. It is sitting at 79 points in favor of TeamTeamTeam right now. So Fate have to be sure that they get their zone on. They don't want to let MULKMULKMULK anywhere near back this capture point and get on and just force them off for a second, because that could mean doom and despair. And Fate are looking to really even this up with this point.
I can't believe Fate retook this one. I honestly, that flank was so well done. They put two people with the two of them, force them away from the point back towards their base, and as soon as the rest of the team were ready, they all commit.
Oh, look at that. SYER comes down the back with a Hexafire. There's the Immortal keeping everybody alive on the point. It's going to actually go back in TeamTeam's favor. They need players on Fate back on it, but there's nobody left to contest. The chicken comes out.
99 to 98. They're all on the point, trying to stay on. There's the huge Dragon Punch. Does manage to find the kills, and Fate take the point. skillganon with a triple kill.
What a play. What a turn of events. And you're right, Fate to retake that capture point, sitting at 79. Excellent, excellent work. And my favorite part about that is when we have Menschmeyer blink in, drop the freeze, they stay in ice block because a mega turret's been popped. They know that actually I can draw fire for this for my team. If I wormhole back out of here, my team is going to be devastated by this mega turret. So they say, well, I'm not at any risk by staying here for longer. I can just immune out all that damage, and it just goes in Fate's favor. But that last play, skillganon on the capture point, Dragon Punch from a short distance, confirming the kill, which we've needed to see in these previous games and just hasn't really shown up.
I really thought that was going in the favor of Team Cubed. When they managed to block the Hexafire with Immortal, I thought that was that, but skillganon, man, what a carry right there on that fight.
Oh, and you mentioned Hexafire, and one comes out from Arcos, enabling his team to start pushing this payload further forwards. But MULKMULKMULK is on the payload once again, and that'll make it very difficult for all of Fate to start pushing in. In fact, Arcos, being forced out by a Fernando on that ruck, is forced to hover away, and now Mulk mounts back up again, starts to heal up out of combat, but has that extra 1,000 health shield. And he's just difficult to lock down. If you don't kill him, and you can't kill him when he's unless he's on a capture point or trying to defend or the payload push, he's such a problem.
Yeah, such an issue to deal with right now. The rest of the team trying to coordinate in this one. Fate being held just on the outside. Menschmeyer dives in, doesn't manage to get the freeze onto anyone, but he's just a distraction. This is the chance the team need to push up. They get the chicken onto SYER, but there's no one to confirm it. There's the Dragon Punch right onto Marre on the balcony. He gets taken down. First blood goes to the side of Fate. Menschmeyer pick up Kamyker as well. They're pushing forwards on this assault. STURE picks up Menschmeyer, and Smutny as well drops. That's a 2-for-2 trade right now, but the payload, it's been pushed up. Mulk is coming in from the back though. He's looking for the rest of the kills. There goes the Hexafire. Great Immortal comes out from Mulk, however. That's going to block it all out. SYER picks up Arcos, and the Hexafire will confirm the defense.
And SYER with a double kill there right at the end, forcing all of Fate back in their respawn, saying, sit down, you don't have the advantage just yet in this game. It is 5 points in favor of Team. This will go to 6 if this defense is successful. But the blink in from Eevee is good. It's going to keep it in overtime just for a second. But no, the payload pushes forward.
Too early! Menschmeyer goes in.
That's gutting. Now, is it me or did...
But it's not enough.
Did that just happen? Did they blinked into the payload, right? They blink in, they saw to the payload, ice block, because they're next to the payload and nobody's standing next to it. The payload pushes itself out of range for overtime. Is that just what happened?
The issue was the payload moved slightly out of range due to the ice block, and
then half a step back.
As well as that, the issue, like, you went in too soon, you know?
Yeah.
Ice block duration. Not calculated enough there and couldn't really do anything. Ice block goes off, waits it out, waits out the timer, counts down to 0, and you're dead.
And that is phenomenal. So, Team getting a successful defense again, leading 6 points to 4. Capture point advantage initially going to Fate as they start off with some zone, but there are kills coming out for Team as Marre picks up Menschmeyer. Now the attention is being turned onto this barrack. No, look out around the back as Mulk on this. Fernando looks to dive in. There's a chicken onto the point as well as Kamyker looks to dish out damage onto all of Fate, and Fate now should be on the retreat, but there's a counter chicken that comes out, but with no follow-up damage, it's not going to keep them safe for long as Mulk picks up a kill on the backside, and now it's Team once again on the capture point. This point and this conversion to win.
Panic chicken there from the side of Fate Esports. No one to return from it. Hits 4 people. Keeps himself alive at least. Unbelievable. Managing to survive. Mulk, there's the Mega Turret. Is getting blocked out, but there's a huge freeze. No longer blocking the Mega Turret. Lots of damage comes out.
Oh, there's a counter Mega Turret.
Taken very low, but the kills coming back in the favor of Team Cubed. They pick up 2. Mulk does finally go down, but there's a great Hexafire from Arcos. He picks up another one. That's a double kill for him. Unbelievable takes down Kamyker. 94 points, but I don't think it's enough. Arcos and Unbelievable, they wipe it out. Now skillganon looking for Marre. Unbelievable snipes that from back, and Fate retake another point.
Oh, hold up, as there's a Dragon Punch coming through. Spots out Mulk hits him whilst mounted. Mulk unable to dodge, and this will be the capture point in favor of Fate Esports, as with that kill from skillganon, they're able to retain control. There'll be no Fernando contesting that point for you, and the payload pushed in. Fate Esports are not so easily knocked out of this game. They're still in the running. It's 6-6. It's neck and neck. The next payload conversion or the next point gain for either team will spell the next capture point as being the match point.
So close between these two teams right now. Fate making a comeback on this map. Mulk is onto the payload, trying to stall it out, but with 3 members onto him, you don't know how much longer he can last. Skillganon does go down in the back, but he caused enough of a distraction. The Mulk pops the Immortal, but probably gonna fall here.
Mulk
Actually,
got out of that.
Menschmeyer sniped out of the air. SYER saves his teammate. Mulk's still alive, regenning health. The payload is moving forwards, but the rest of the team going to be wiped out any moment now.
You know what? I'm starting to think that this Fernando is immortal in more ways than one. Not just that ability, just the interaction between that. Let's take a quick look. It's the interaction between Insurmountable with that 1000 damage shield when mounted, and Equestrian is just absolutely devastating. Unless you've got a fast tick weapon, you can't actually prevent Fernando from mounting up. And as soon as you start that animation, he's got the shield up and ready, and then it's an extra 1000 health to deal with. And he just runs away into the backline, staying alive all this time. Then heals up with Veteran if he's taken it. Look, there we go. So Fernando actually has got Veteran this time. Looks like it was Gather pickups we saw previously on them. So Fernando able to heal up out of combat very successfully, whilst the payload push is coming through. I mean, Fate Esports, they do have a slight high ground advantage. Have they got the damage to push it all the way?
Hexafire from Arcos onto Mulk. Trying to do as much as he can, but again, that's on the Fernando. Not going to be able to do much. Ice Storm on the high ground to push them all away. Does buy them a bit of space, but there's the kills from Smutny. He picks up a double kill. Tries to find the triple. STURE picks that one up instead. And that's 3 down from the side of Team Cubed. Arcos as well finds Marre. That's 4 down. They're looking for the conversion. Dragon Punch comes down.
Dragon Punch midair.
Finds SYER midair. That's the point coming through. And Fate convert to 8.
Now this is match point either way. for both teams because, well, not for TeamTeamTeam just yet, but if TeamTeamTeam capture the point, they have the opportunity to convert the payload and win. But if they lose, and they've got to capture the point and they've got to convert, because if they lose here, Fate will win off the defense. But oh my god, can we just talk about that last play? Because not only did skillganon manage to hit a mid-air, that's not an on the ground where it's on that flat horizontal plane, that was a mid-air Dragon Punch. But not just that, Menschmeiser has the presence of mind to blink in towards Fernando, freeze them out so they're unable to get to the payload, and that won the conversion.
That was just incredible play from the side of Fate. And now we're coming into what could possibly be the last capture point of this game. Match point coming through here as the rest of Fate trying to do what they can. Mulk is in the back line. No damage coming through from the rest of his team, however, yet turned on and taken low. He does manage to take both Drogos and Pip, skillganon and Unbelivable taken low. skillganon the first one to fall. Good chicken comes through, however, that's one kill. They're trying to find the second one. Unbelivable, however, gets taken down. That's a huge mega turret coming through. That's a triple kill for STURE.
And that's incredible. That might actually give them the edge in this capture point, as only Arcos is left, and Arcos is being forced back. The respawns are coming through, but it appears there's actually a disconnect, or there was a disconnect for that initial point on the side of skillganon, as no burn cards were picked up. Now back in the game, skillganon has the chance to turn this with his team. No ultimates available. Arcos almost has Hexify up. Smutney with that mega turret almost available, and if they can pull off this right combination, they might be able to turn it back in their favor. There's STURE picked up. There's no Barrack on the point anymore.
Feel like we're seeing a repeat. I think I see the retake happening here. It might come out. If it does, this would be crazy. Unbelivable and Marre trade their lives for each other. There's the immortal Hexafire and Mega Turret coming out. Book forced off of the point. They're trying to find Kamyker. Menschmeiser goes deep for it. To blink back out. Meanwhile, in the back line, it's Smutney going 1v1 against SYER. The fights are so split right now. SYER manages to win against Smutney. Mulk frozen out. They're trying to find this one, but he's going to find Menschmeiser first. skillganon against the world, it seems. STURE picks up Arcos, and the rest of the team falling.
Oh,
Team
Dragon
Cubed
Punch.
not getting taken down.
Dragon Punch activated but knocked out before the animation finishes, so skillganon does retain the charge on that. The objective does go to TeamTeamTeam, but it's not all over for Fate yet. They have the opportunity to defend here, and they're going to push up earlier.
This is point right now. 8-8. Whoever wins this attack or defense will win the game. This is the closest we've ever seen a game go right now, as these teams are battling out tooth and nail. Menschmeiser goes in, they pick up STURE with a freeze.
Dragon Punch.
Here comes the snowstorm. That goes down. Dragon Punch is coming in as well. Doesn't connect onto anyone. Flies straight past, but they find the kills anyway. Smutney picks up Marre. They're going in for Kamyker as well. They want the clean wipe. Mulk, however, is still on the payload. Forces the chicken out. He's going to get taken down in a few seconds. And Fate, they find a few kills, but they push too far forwards.
And they get wiped out in response. Over-aggressive and over-confident themselves are Fate Esports. And they're forced to retreat now, but with the respawns coming through, they'll be okay and they'll be able to hold here for a second. But it's Mulk they got to worry about on that respawn especially. They need to stack up skillganon's ultimate once again on this Drogos. Have that Dragon Punch ready for the last minute takeout. But the cards are stacked, in my opinion, in favor of Fate right now, as they do have the defense opportunity. And with this choke point so narrow, and with the elevation so much in favor of the defenders.
Look at this. Mulk is getting on the high ground behind them all. He's trying to come in from behind. Doesn't even care about the payload. Or now on to Unbelivable, trying to take him down. Kamyker trying to do what he can to help. And look at this. Mulk isn't even trying to kill Unbelivable. He's just trying to block his shots right now. He's trying to keep the damage busy. And it works. The rest of his team getting wiped out. Team Cubed making an incredible play. Here comes the Hexafire, but another Immortal comes out from Mulk, blocks it all out. It's this ability there. Mega Turret comes down from STURE. There's a Hexafire from SYER, picks up Arcos. It's just the few members of Fate left up. 3 of them alive. Does look like skillganon gets on the point to hold it off a few more seconds, but there's Team Cube taking the point.
And that will be Game 3 going in favor of Team Cubed. So now leading 2 points to 1. This is neck and neck. Team Cube taking a slight advantage here, but this game does go all the way. Now Fate, as the higher seeded team, will get to select the next map. So that's kind of really not on the cards yet. It's going to be interesting to see what they go with.
That play by Mulk, incredible. I thought for a second, he's just going to go up. He's going to get Unbelivable low, force him to go back. He didn't even do
Right.
that. He sat there in front of him with his shield up. And
Exactly.
just sat there and blocked it.
Exactly. Now, I just want to point out that skillganon did have multiple crashes throughout the game. Now, the teams are allowed 1 pause per team per game. So you're not allowed to double pause. We did see a double pause come out initially. And the reason for that is that there is currently a bug involved with unpausing, which crashes certain players' clients. When that comes out, the teams agree that they're going to repause, get back into the game, and unpause. That's not to give an advantage at all. That's just to make sure that everybody's starting from the same page and there are no crashes across the board. But so skillganon not present throughout a lot of those fights, still able to have such an impact when they were with those dragon punches, but alas, not enough to actually clutch the victory. Taking a look at the scoreboard, anything that springs out to you, Title?
I mean, just so much damage all over the board. It's hard to pick out anyone in particular right now.
I mean, I'm looking at STURE right now on Barrack, not usually the carry pick we see, but 20, 12, and 21 with kill, deaths, and assists. That's impressive.
Indeed, a lot of impressive work here from him. He popped some very game-changing mega turrets there during those fights. In fact, I think I picked up a triple kill, maybe a quadra kill with a mega turret.
Just a triple kill, but with the mega turret having that auto lock and those heat-seeking missiles, that can be devastating on a point fight, just as we've seen. But game 4 coming up in just a couple of minutes. Any predictions as to which map you might think it will be, as it is Fate who have the pick for that?
Fate will 100% take that Temple Ruins. We saw the first time they played it against Team Cubed. They were very dominant on it. In fact, actually, more so tooth and nail fights. They won every point fight, wouldn't manage to make the attack. We saw last time they played it, the previous game, when they were playing that Temple Ruins, they also take every point fight, but this time they convert some of those points, taking it 9-1, I think, was the score in that game. So Temple Ruins, obvious choice here for Fate, I think. What's going to be interesting to see is what map do Team Cubed go for in the 5th game?
I mean, they've had the advantage on both Glacier Keep and Enchanted Forest so far, but in all honesty, I'm thinking Forest. I think that they just rolled a train that map, and whilst Fate Esports did have the chance to come back on a couple of capture points, they just, they seem to be more confident on there. They had Mulk up on the backline doing that body blocking against a Pip. That's not something we've seen before. They've got to be feeling themselves if they're able to pull off that kind of play. And as a result, that's my prediction. But we'll find out in the next game for the next map picked by Fate, and the game after, if it does go all the way to a best of 5, which I think it actually has to now.
It
if Fate
has
are
to
going to close out.
It's 2-1, and Fate... no, actually, it could go to... We're assuming that Fate just win the next game. Of course we are.
Right.
It could go to 4 games if Team Cubed were able to take the next game. We're assuming they won't because, Temple Ruins is going to be the map pick. It's got to be. So again, they'll probably take that, and it'll probably go to a game 5.
They could be expecting it. They could change things up a little bit. Maybe Mulk won't pick an Eevee. He'll actually go for the Fernando on Temple Ruins again due to the success we've had in those past games. But we'll find out after this short break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this 4th game of the Best of 5 series with, of course, Team Cubed taking the last game in that one in a nail-biting clutch moment. Crazy game. We'll be getting into this next one. Both teams facing up against each other. 4th map picked by Fate was indeed Temple Ruins, as we predicted.
Caster's Curse not applying to the map picks this time around, which is nice. We got something right, and that's always encouraging. But as predicted, it will be Temple Ruins, the one map in this set which Fate have actually taken so far. So we'll see if they come out with a dominant advantage, but there is a Fernando pickup that could potentially change things, as MULKMULKMULK has been just so impactful on this pick so far. Let's take a quick look and see if that's going to potentially swing things in TeamTeamTeam's favor.
Doesn't look like it as First Blood goes over to Menschmeyer, picks up SYER with that freeze on the Eevee. Arcos gets one himself onto Kamyker as well. Marre does manage to find skillganon, but right now, point control is going over to the side of Fate.
So what I want to see Fate do here is I want to see them set up a little bastion of defense on this point right now. I want them to be able to hold off on there until it's maybe at 40% or 40 points captured, then run. They want to deal with a Fernando at that point, keep their players alive, don't die, and then manage to kind of get back and keep on contesting. But Smutney in a lot of trouble, does get run down by Marre, can't escape that dodge roll. Cassie, the respond does come through as Mulk has been killed by Unbelivable, but look at that, Marre just running a train over anybody who faces them, and now skillganon, the last player alive, is is forced to dodge and juke their way out of danger, as now we have to wait for full respawns to come through. So I expect Team to get at least 50 to 60 points on this capture point.
Fate as well. They try so hard to kill Fernando. They do manage to take him down. All so low after killing him that by the time the rest of the team from Team Cubed make it to them, they get wiped out instantly. Marre found one frag. Unbelievable right now, trying to do what he can. Marre with another one. That's a double kill for him. Menschmeyer does manage to trade one back, picking up SYER. But Mulk again, right now, causing some issues. There's a great snowstorm onto Marre and onto the barrack, of course, onto STURE, but not able to pick up any kills. Mensch actually goes down for it as well.
Point control briefly in favor of Fate, but here's MULKMULKMULK back again on the Fernando, coming from behind. If there is ever a player behind you and you're worried about who they're going to be, it's going to be Mulk. This has been established now.
Oh,
there's a chicken that comes out to the side of Fate, and this should be a wipe in favor of TeamTeamTeam right now, as there's nobody left to really contest the point. There's a Hexafire from Arcos, and it might be enough. No, is it? Was that enough? Did Fate get the capture point?
Point goes over to Fate. Point goes over to Fate.
That's... I'm in a bit of disbelief, but Arcos there with the last minute Hexafire does actually manage to get the wipe. Great play.
He doesn't get the complete wipe straight away, but he picks up the people he needs to, and then they win the point fight from raw points alone.
It was neck and neck up until then. Absolutely neck and neck, and I honestly thought when the chicken came down onto that capture point that there was no way Fate would make it out. But despite having no resilience pickups, they do manage to dodge and duke their way around all the damage dropping onto them, and now they're starting to push this payload. It's reaching the initial choke point coming from its spawn right now, going through all these low arches and doorways. If they make it through here, it'll be coming up to the gates of the base of Team, and then it'll be the real test to see if they can get the wipe and push through.
And that's past the most serious choke points as well. Menschmeyer right now, he's starting to flank around the back. There goes the Dragon Punch. Doesn't quite connect on anyone. Menschmeyer not in position to get the freeze for the easy kill there. The EV kill, I would say. A skillganon gets taken down on the gate. STURE picking that one up. Right now, chasing down Mulk, who was chicken. Again, I just don't think that's a great idea. Mulk just not able to die, and when they focus him so hard, they get picked up for just taking so much damage over time for it. STURE and Marre pick up 2 kills of their own. Smutny now going to go down. Great Ice Storm comes across, but there's no return for it. SYER with a double kill. Menschmeyer goes down, and the rest of Fate all wiped out.
So, and we've seen this time and time again, so now it's up to Fate to break the base. First up, skillganon, you're isolated and alone. You shouldn't be trading shots with anybody until your team is here, because you're going to be knocked off the map very, very quickly if you do that. But starting to push out now, drops a salvo, doesn't actually connect with it by the looks of things, and there's a Hexafire coming out from SYER, who picks up 1 kill from it, a modest reward for an ultimate, but stalls the payload out for a little bit longer, and that's a 5 versus 4 in favor of Team right now.
Yeah, Arcos does get taken down by SYER, so they're going to get the numbers advantage right now onto this payload push. Marre as well taking down skillganon inside the base, I think. And that's a double kill for him as well onto Menschmeyer. Smutny and Unbelievable do take Mulk down in the back, but this is the thing, they focus down Mulk in the back, and now they have no one on the payload.
But if you don't focus down Mulk in the back, you die. That's all that happens. This Fernando is so difficult for them to deal with. The defense is successful on the side of Team Cubed, so Fate will lead 2 points to 1, but this is exactly how it started off on the last Temple Ruins map, and Fate just consistently took every capture point. Let's see if they can pull it off again. Burn cards coming out across the board. Fate going with those nimble pickups, which they seem to like. A lot of blast shields coming out as well, and whilst they do have a Ruckus and Fernando dealing that fast damage, which would actually be negated by Haven, they're preferring to not be so vulnerable to Cassie, Pip, and Barrack, which I think is a wise choice here.
Point card advantage coming through does look in the favor of Team Cubed, but look at this. This is actually pretty interesting. We're seeing extra burn cards on the side of Team Cubed on Mulk and STURE. We do have a small... we do have the loading bug coming through. I think it's just taking a while to load through. Talk through it. So 3 cards on Mulk and STURE. Unless Kamyker's still yet to pick up the rest of his cards, it looks like over the general amount of cards that Team Cubed are ahead. Of course, they have it on SYER as well. But Kamyker with only 1 card, that puts them at a general overall disadvantage.
I would expect that, as the capture point hasn't actually spawned just yet. We are stuck in stasis mode, of course. The Kamyker going to pick up some more cards before he exits the base. Marre, once again, going with the record pick, being the designated shield killer of this team. And I think that's also why we're seeing such elevated damage stats on a Cassie for once in these games, because Marre able to get that 100% extra damage on from those shields, or from the shots that hit those shields. So that makes short work of Smutney's barricade, despite them running Bunker 2. And we should note that it is only Bunker 2 on Smutney's build. So only 2,000 extra health for barricade, but the flat cooldown reduction of 10 seconds is well worth it. Combos nicely with Kronos with that 25%, or rather 20%
Look at all these
cooldown reduction.
blast shields as well, all across the board for the side of Fate. And you know, with this Fernando being such an issue, you know, you think they'd look for some kind of counter, no?
But I don't think they can. I really don't think they can afford to do it with Marre on there with Big Game Hunter. So Big Game Hunter, or Big Game 4 rather, your weapon shots deal bonus damage equal to 8% of your target's maximum health on a 5-second cooldown. So every 5 seconds, there's a weapon attack coming out from Cassie that does that big burst damage. And really, that's what I think they're scared of. But they're also, you also got to remember the blast shields will work on some of the other effects coming out. It won't work on Ruckus's Hexafire, will work on that Barrack rifle, and will work on those pip shots, which can be especially devastating.
Yeah, the pit shots especially, as well as I think Cassie shots too.
Yep, it should work on Cassie basic attacks. It's anything over 350 damage if I'm not mistaken. But that may not mean that... Does that actually proc with Mega Turret? Because Mega Turret deals 300 damage if I'm not mistaken.
Good pop on Mega Turret is 300 damage of any kind from one particular source over one tick. So Mega Turret definitely for sure. Meanwhile, Smutney managed to pick up the kill. Double kill for himself. It's 3v3 right now. Point is in favor still of Fate. They've got 36 points already on this, and they're starting to push forward to find the extra kills that they need to take this over. Schmeier jumps in with a great freeze onto SYER there, drops the Ice Storm. Immortal is forced out from the side of Team Cubed to try and keep him alive. Arcos, meanwhile, in the back, he's looping all the way around. He finds Marre. He's now coming in to pick up the kill onto SYER. Manages to get that one with the help of Unbelivable. The rest of the team pushing through. Mega Turret, however, and STURE, that picks up Benchmire. It's looking for another. And the point fight, 92 to 15. 2 versus 2. Chicken comes through, however. They're looking to try and clean this up. A great disengage keeps them in this one, however. Smutney finds one onto STURE, but he's picked up by Mulk, and Team Cubes come out ahead.
There's nobody on the capture point right now. I want to see skillganon go for the back door, but alas, it looks like Pip is actually back on the capture point right now. Mulk gonna say no more of that, but skillganon with a huge dragon punch there hitting SYER, knocking them straight out of the fight. But it's neck and neck. The points are almost equal. There's got to be some kind of point contest coming through right now. They need members of Fate back on the capture point. They need Smutney here with the barricade to be able to contest it properly. They may even have a Hexafire available. No ultimates available on either side, but SYER has Hexafire available on this Ruckus. If he makes it back to the point fight in time, this will definitely go the way of... No, not in time.
They find it on Mulk as well. Mulk gets taken down, and that's going to be the objective. As soon as he drops, there's just no one else left to contest that one. They find that kill, and it's going to go over to Fate once more. They lead this one 4-1 due to their capture point control right now, just winning out.
Now, I expected, or I sort of hoped that Mulk would be able to stay alive there a little bit longer, because they have been able to they have been able to survive through so much damage previously. But taken out, SYER did have that Hexafire available, could have potentially turned it in their favor if they were at the point a couple of seconds earlier. But a little bit too late. Point capture going to Fate. Now Fate once again have to try and break this base, but they're coming from the right-hand side of the minimap. They don't have the easy route through where skillganon could potentially get up on the left side of the enemy base and push into their backline, and as a result they just have to go for the brute force face punch approach, really. And
I tell you what, it seems to be working. Chicken comes out. There's the Ice Storm as well. STURE, the first one to drop. Mega Turret was from Smutney, was popped inside the base. Does find one kill from it. Have a Dragon Punch onto Mulk. That's a huge pickup for the side of Fate. That means he's not there to contest this one anymore. They managed to trade 1-for-1. Skillganon takes down Kamyker. He finds the triple kill. There's the Hexafire coming out from Arcos, trying to pick up the last one. Menschmeyer finds STURE, and conversion. That's going to be going in the favor of Fate.
Almost. You can see Mulk frozen there on the point. It is, in fact, stasis mode once again. The time ticking down in your screens isn't reflecting the time left on the clock accurately. It is stalled with about a minute left, and with the payload being so close to the conversion point, even if Fate get wiped here by respawns, they have the opportunity to come back and just do it all again. Now, if we go onto the scoreboard real quick, we can see that
could be dangerous.
Most of Fate's ultimates are down.
Kamyker has his chicken up. He's left. He's alive in base. Mulk just needs to survive a few seconds. The chicken can come through. He's got immortal too.
Exactly. So Mulk, if he gets, he's been frozen, but perhaps a little bit too early, as he'll pop out of that freeze sooner than you expect, and then be able to pop Immortal to survive. I don't think that Fate have the burst required to take him down. We know that there's been a respawn coming through on the side of Kamyker, and as a result of Kamyker managing to get in, drop a chicken, they'll be able to hold even if Mulk dies, and then the rest of the respawns come through. SYER comes through, maybe cleans up with Hexafire. That could hold it there, but we'll have to wait for this stasis mode to be over before we're able to figure that out. Negative time. Interesting. First
negative time. I'm surprised it doesn't just stop at 0.
You'd expect it to, as that's what happens with the capture point. But this is something that you learn something new about Paladins every day. Hey, maybe we can get somebody to highlight this in the VOD and maybe submit it as a bug report going through. As that is an interesting mechanic. I see no Capri here.
Crack, get on this straight away. Let's go.
No. Kret's associate game designer here. It's a delegation to somebody, of course. But
I think it's Bible's study actually now, who's been doing a lot of the bug reports.
Of course, yes, and a familiar face in the Paladins World Discord. And you know what, whilst we have the opportunity, let's talk a little bit about that. So this tournament is a Hi-Rez tournament. However, it's being adminned and run effectively by Paladins World. If you're not familiar with Paladins World, they do have a website, paladinsworld.com. They also have a Discord server, so if you're interested in Paladins, you're interested in the competitive scene, you can always join that. We've got a couple of channels on there dedicated to for people looking for scrims and looking for teams. So if you wanted to pick up a couple of players for your team, if you had a couple of empty slots, or if you needed to or if you wanted to look for a team as a free agent, you're more than welcome to do that there. That link should be available somewhere on their website. As well as if you are new to Paladins and you haven't actually played the game yet and you'd like to give it a shot, it is in closed beta. You do require a beta key in order to play Paladins. But Tell, do you happen to remember a specific website that you can get a beta key from by any chance?
Oh man, you're testing my memory here. I think it's paladins.com/community.
Right on the money. Paladins.com/community, and you can go and pick up 4 free beta keys from there by subscribing to one of the Hi-Rez or Paladins social media networks. We're going to go to a quick break whilst we figure out what's going on. Might have to start the game back up from a replay, but as soon as we got that figured out, we'll be back with the rest of this game 4 now on Temple Ruins. Team versus Fate. Don't go anywhere in the meantime.
I'm just hoping the timer hits 420, man.
Don't touch that dial.
Into it, Chicken got dropped, as we said. Immortal as well. Welcome back, everyone. The Hexafire from SYER too. That's a double kill for him. Fatal getting wiped out. Triple kill for SYER. He's looking for the Quadra. skillganon coming round the backside. Still 45 seconds remaining on this one. Team Cubed need to make the defense.
And you know what? We were sitting there for so long with that stuck in stasis mode and all the models kind of seen in mid-air. That went from 0 to 100 incredibly fast. Ultimates burned across the board, but now Fate with their ultimates almost charged have a slight advantage here. They may go to use these ultimates to actually cap the or convert the payload here, but I think we're more likely to see them give up on this point eventually, just try and earn some ultimate charge right now and really look to hold down the next capture point, as that's what's worked time and time again. And you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Fate have the opportunity to come back here.
Deep, and he picks up a kill, and they're still pushing this one forwards. He traded 1-for-1, used his ultimate there. Arcos pops his Hexafire. Skillganon was that a Dragon Punch in the back, came in the back, picks up Marre. Still 2 versus 2. The chicken comes through, but Smutney's still there to help defend his team. They don't manage to kill anyone from the chicken. Looking for this payload, knocked off. There comes the barrack. Onto the point, STURE drops that Mega Turret, picks up a double kill, looking for another, there's a triple kill, can't quite find the Quadra, but he's made the defense that his team needs.
Oh, and skillganon goes up into the air, unable to take it to overtime, but somebody else gets in there.
Smutney, our second, goes aggressive, does get onto the overtime, there's the Mega Turret, but he goes down.
Valiant play from Fate, but I still don't agree with that, okay? They've used all their ultimates in that last-ditch effort, and the defense was successful. They didn't convert the payload, and now they're at a potential disadvantage for this next capture point. So I'm really almost hesitant to say that despite Fate's prior you know, dominant play on these capture points. I'm hesitant to give them the give them my favor or the advantage on this one. I think that with well-timed ultimates coming out from TeamTeamTeam, that they could actually take a capture point off Fate and potentially lead.
There are only only one ultimate up on the side of Fate, however, and that's the Cassie Scout.
Well, that's TeamTeamTeam, but look at it. We got 80% charge from SYER.
TeamTeamTeam, not Fate.
And Mulk is sitting at 70%. Kamyker's going to make that back within the first 30 seconds of fighting, and STURE sitting at 57% charge. I mean, even that as the lowest player. Actually, Marre pops the scout immediately as soon as they get on the capture point, looking to see where to flank. And Marre actually picks up the first kill in this fight, skillganon from above. But there's a Hexafire pop now as well by SYER. But there's nothing really gained from it.
Doesn't pick up anyone, doesn't even really do much damage. Skillganon gets picked up by Mulk. SYER finally picks up Unbelivable. But they're now just starting to rush into the point. Menschmeyer taken down by Marre, and it's just Smutny left. He'll get taken down too for a double kill. Point control going in favor of Team Cubed right now, but I know we said this so many times, time and time again. If there's anyone who comes back into the point control so far, it's gonna be Fate Esports with how the last game went.
We're gonna go and call them the comeback kings at this point, because they seem to be able to pull these victories or these point comebacks out of absolutely nowhere. And the points lead currently 80 in a second to 33 in favor of TeamTeamTeam. But Fate Esports, they forced TeamTeamTeam off the point. They're starting to go back in, but Mulk's on the point as well. They got to contest that. Immortal has been popped, keeping everybody alive. Arcos, though, with a Hexafire drops damage onto Mulk. I heard a chicken go out somewhere, but it hits Mulk as well. Mulk very low now. Kamyker on the point gets taken out as well, and Smutny able to drop damage in. There we go. Was that a Mega Turret pop by Smutny?
That was a Mega Turret, I think. Smutny gets it up. But look at Unbelivable staying alive. Last man. There's the Mega Turret actually coming down. Smutny picks up Mulk, and Unbelivable stays alive. 2v1, 93 points for his teammate Smutny to get there, and Smutny picks up a quadra kill.
Would you consider that play unbelievable?
I think I would.
I mean, you're 2v1ing for an extended period of time as Pip, and whilst you have a healing potion, that's really impressive, especially to be able to then come back and force a Fernando off the point, admittedly with the assistance of a Mega Turret, so you've got to take that into account. But that is damn good play coming out from Fate Esports, but very, very good early capture from TeamTeamTeam. We saw this the last game as well. Now, the difference is that last time with Fate versus TeamTeamTeam, there was initial one of those payloads was converted on the side of Fate, and if they can do it again here, they'll make it almost impossible for TeamTeamTeam to come back. But TeamTeamTeam, the longer this game goes on, the more time they get on the capture point, the more they seem to be working out Fate's strategy. So it could go either way for me. Any predictions, Tattle?
I mean, it's just going to be about learning to adapt on the next map. I think that's going to be really it. At this point, I think Fate should be able to take this one and push it forwards. They're going to get all these capture points if they keep playing it this way. The way that Team Cubed are just not reacting to the retakes here, coordinating them well enough, just means that they're losing all these capture points. They're getting the defenses off, but that's not enough to win a game at this point. And Fate, they're really doing well. And there's the Dragon Punch. SYER comes in from the skillganon comes in from the side, takes down SYER. Marre does trade onto Arcos. That's Ruckus for Ruckus, but at what cost? That's such a huge member down for a defense to go down.
And now the payload is certainly being pushed right into the base of TeamTeamTeam. They do come to the rescue, they do come to the defense and hold it there for just a second, but Eevee, Menschmeyer on this Eevee, able to get out of dodge. Cassie under a lot of pressure, has to go back up into their healing fountain, gonna be knocked out just at the edge of that healing fountain. That's gutting to see, but Menschmeyer now uncontested, blinks in, gets a double freeze off. Whew, that's impressive. Skillganon then comes from the top side, looking to box the enemy team in their base, manages to pick up another kill for a double kill there, and it's MULKMULK is the only player left along with Pip on the top side, and the Hexafire does come out. It's immune by this Immortal, and that's one thing that we're consistently seeing is Hexafire into Immortal being very successful, but even though SYER comes in with the Hexafire, they're not close enough to stop the payload, and that's a wasted ultimate.
Not close enough to stop the payload, but taken out so shortly afterwards that I don't think it even mattered at that point. Payload goes through, and Fate, they managed to convert again. We're 8 points to 2 right now, as Fate look clutch to take this one.
Almost the same run back as the last game. Fate able to win off either a point capture or a payload defense right here. It's stacked against TeamTeamTeam, and if Fate do capture this next point or do get a successful defense, then it will be going to a best of 5 games with the map selection in favor, or rather the map being decided by TeamTeamTeam. And this point, it all comes down to this point fight right here.
All comes down to this one indeed, and if they make this push, then it's going to be If they make this point control, then it's going to be one hell of a push once more. Another point like last time would be crazy to see in the last game in Enchanted Forest, of course. SYER taking a kill. It's 2 kills right now up for Team Cubed as they start to take the advantage in this. Great freeze from Menchmeyer as well as the Snowstorm, but Marre is still dealing the damage. Finally gets taken down, but takes down Arcos in return. That's 3 kills for himself. Mulk as well. Unbelivable taken out in the back, and that's again point control going to Team Cubed.
And we're seeing a run back of every point so far, where this initial point control, Fate sometimes step on for a few seconds, but they're rapidly forced off. Team Cube take the point, and then Fate come back in for the retake. But I don't see how they're going to get back in that easily. Smutney has been spotted out, but it all comes down to this Dragon Punch! The freeze and the Dragon Punch combination is perfect. It locks down MULKMULKMULK, unable to escape. That's a 100-0 hit on the most tanky target on the side of Team Cubed. And here comes the retake opportunity. It's all coming off the back of those ultimates.
Indeed, it's the ultimates they needed. That Dragon Punch taking out the most important target, the largest target for sure. Skillganon does get taken down by STURE, but Fate, they still have point control right now. It's 2v2. Pip's coming in. So is Menchmeyer. Does manage to get the freeze off.
Ultimate.
Double chicken comes through, but Unbelievable's the first one to get the kill. He gets it onto STURE. And here comes SYER on that Ruckus as well. Arcos pops the Hexafire. Hexafire into Hexafire, but Arcos picks the first one up. That goes to his favor. Kamyker gets the kill onto Smutney in the back, but I don't know if it's enough. Menchmeyer gets the kill of his own. Mulk taken down, 91 points, counting down. Team Fate look to take this, and they indeed do win the series. Win the series, win the game. Taking it
Not quite the series yet.
2-2.
But it is all tied up. And tied up, let's take a look at the scoreboard before we go any further. Because what a retake that was. I did not expect that to come through, but it's the freeze and the Dragon Punch combination, which has just been so devastating. And really, now with also MULKMULKMULK not going for that resilience pick, not respecting the freeze Eevee perhaps, or thinking that they don't need to rely on it, gets locked into place and just gets one shot. And that is really the most important target for them to take down, I think, for Fate Esports to take down, so it's worked out well. I expect to see Mulk picking up a lot more in the way of resilience burn cards next game. I don't think he'll let that happen again. But across the board, high damage coming across for Fate. A lot of credits on both teams. Once again, the team with a lower credit score actually is the team that comes out on tops. And a lot of deaths across the board as well. Pretty even kill spread by the looks of things.
Yeah, for sure. It's a pretty even kill spread across the board, but it's just Fate able to take the most important kills in that one. You see SYER ahead with 16 kills, and Marre as well. Marre doing a lot of work, I felt, that game, but a lot of frags. Kamyker with slightly less kills, but does do a lot of damage. And actually, look at those assists as well on Marre. He is going off on that Cassie.
But that's all that scout as well. You got to remember that if your scout ultimate is active, revealing all enemies on the map for a short amount of time, you will gain an assist for any kills generated within that period, even if you've not hit them with your damage. So that will add up those numbers and pad them out a little bit, but that's still 57,000 damage, by no means or by every means, a respectable damage score. 17 kills, the highest in the game with the exception of Smutney, definitely the highest on their team. So Marre's been really the kind of unsung hero, I feel like, of TeamTeamTeam. We talked so much about MULKMULKMULK just because the Fernando is having a devastating, disruptive impact, but Marre is really just picking up those kills, and especially, I want to point out, knocking skillganon out of the air, and that's impressive to be able to hit those air shots onto an airborne target.
Indeed, very impressive, especially for someone like Cassie. You know, they don't have much travel time on their shots, still a bit. Of course, that was game 4 of this best of 5 series. Fate take it and even things up to make the series 2-2. We'll be going into the 5th game of the series, looking to see if Fate can take this one and secure their 4th seed spot into the playoffs next week against Torpedo, or if Team will take it and force a second best of 5 series. That map will be coming up just next. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this last game in the best of 5 finals right now in this series. Fate Esports versus Team Cubed. As we're coming back, team's going for a salty run back. They believe in their team and their composition box.
It's salty run back indeed. Gonna take a quick look at the burn cards coming out here if we can. And I'm seeing a couple of nimbles picked up on Fate, as we kind of expect, as Fate really like those nimbles.
Oh,
Couple of blast shields,
I was
a lot of
gonna say it's
resilience.
gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
What happened?
Mention my last second switches to the standstill.
And that's a good choice right
Hated.
there, because you can see there's 3 resilience pickups on the side of Team. And that'll mean that card is pretty much made useless, with the exception of reducing the duration of Pip Ultimate now. Very aggressive play coming out from Team. STURE picking up the first kill, actually Team getting an early advantage, but we know that Fate are the retake kings, potentially, but not so much on this map. How will they fare?
Marre goes very deep and gets shut down for it. STURE and SYER pick up Arcos and Unbelivable. skillganon did manage to pick up 1 kill for Marre's death, but now at this point, they're trying to get back in. It's only Smutny who's left alive, and Team Cubed take advantage on the point.
And that is an early push, but members of Fate are staggered in their respawns. They have to wait for the point to be about 60 so far before they're able to get back on. And they're being scattered out, they're being zoned out slightly. They'll be poked down before they're able to reach. And MULK going deep into the backline looks to really slow them down. High ground advantage going slightly in favor of Menschmeiser, as they are able to pick up a player there, still on that standstill build. But the point now no longer contested, very heavily in favor of Team. Has to have members of Fate standing on it, otherwise MULK is going to come back in and just start capping it once more, and that's exactly what's happening. It's going to get backdoor capped. They have to have somebody there. The blink from Eevee is enough to save it briefly, but they can't afford to get off this point at all.
Yeah, there goes the snowstorm. Doesn't actually get it off just in time. That's unfortunate. Taken down. MULK still 1v1 against Arcos and actually wins it with a shot from Marre. They win the point objective. Team Cubed take an early lead in this game. 2 points up, now looking for the conversion.
So what's the main difference between this and Temple Ruins? As that point control is just completely reversed from what we saw previously. Team coming out on top form, looking for this conversion, likely to be defended just based off what we've seen previously, but there's always a chance at those extra 2 points. And look at the push coming out from Team. MULK diving deep into the backline, does get chickened, does get an ultimate hit on them by Eevee, but due to that resilience pickup, the chicken only lasts for a second. They're back up, they're dealing damage into the backline already, and they're ready to go out swinging.
And that's 2 ultimates used on MULK alone. Megatar is popped, and that's going to take STURE very low, but he gets out in time. Rocket boots his way to safety. Marre trying to do what he can with those shots. Doesn't manage to pick up anyone, just about survives. MULK goes aggressive. He picks up Smutny. Arcos won the trade against SYER, so 1-for-1 trade so far in the teams. But MULK, he goes for the double kill. Picks that one up onto skillganon. They're starting to get a man advantage in this one, but again, it's just not moving anywhere. STURE gets taken down. It's 2 for 2. Marre, again, it gives them the extra advantage. Arcos gets taken down. MULK finally onto the payload. Starts the push out. Barricade is in place to keep them held here, however, and the rest of the team fall back.
Now, I kind of want to see Barrett go up onto the high ground right now and try and get that high ground advantage, but with a low cooldown barricade on the side of Smutny, he's actually going to elect to stay near the payload, start forcing it backwards a little bit, and try and dodge some of this damage now coming out from SYER. You got Drogos up on the high ground this time, which is a nice place for them to be. But look at Marre coming up, disengages them off the edge of the cliff, drops a lot of damage, and that scout coming out, all players revealed, of course, and Kamyker picks up the first kill of this trade. SYER and STURE follow. Marre, that's a 4-player wipe on the side of Team. They knock out almost all of Fate, and only skillganon with that air control mobility left alive, left able to get out of there.
What a play from them, and they actually chase him down as well. Marre finds that one too. skillganon gets taken down. The disengage knocks Smutny straight off, and he has to use his movement ability to get back on the payload. He's going to drop very quickly on that one as well, if they're not careful. The rest of them trying to regain high ground control, do manage to pull it back. Marre picks up Kamyker. Dragon Punch coming through. It connects onto SYER. There's the snowstorm as well. They're trying to pick up STURE and Marre. STURE goes down. Marre will be able to run with his tail between his legs. MULK, the last man left standing on the payload. Marre trying to come back round, will get into position to help his teammate, but Menschmeiser gets the blink off, trying to find the kill, finds it. Marre goes down, there goes MULK as well, and Fate make a great defense.
With that going through, Fate will take one single point in their favor. 2-1 leads the score with Team on the top side of that. Let's check ultimate charges on the scoreboard before going, because we know that Fate really rely on those to be able to start winning these points. They're decently in favor of Fate, but there are, or decently charged in Fate. We've got one at least on the Hexafire, Smutney almost there, but there are 3 almost up and available on the side of Team. The burn cards are coming through.
This
Got a bit of an advantage.
As well. The combo is really important here. Having Chicken and Hexafire is huge, especially if you've got an Eevee running that freeze. Marre doesn't actually have it since he's still staying with that standstill. We're not seeing any resiliences yet, so I'd like to see him pick it up for some 5-man freezes, but doesn't change in time, keeping that charge on his ultimate instead, despite him actually being so low.
Well, I was going to say this time, but it's the same as last time as initial point control goes to Team. But they're being very careful, very hesitant. They're jumping on the point for a couple of seconds, jumping back off again to stay out of danger as the barrage of shots come through from the high ground. Now they're going to all retreat as a group as Fate Esports start to look to take control at this point. They'll get a little bit of cap off on it, but how long would it last?
Skillganon gets taken down, so that's the numbers disadvantage coming through. SYER with the great Hexafire to counter that Chicken. Doesn't catch anyone because of the Chicken's running on their side. Now Arcos popping his, but again, there's no one to shoot at. Multiple ultimates wasted. Both Ruckus Hexafires catch no one, and STURE and Marre clean up.
Oh, Fate, what have you done? Where have you been? You turned up so much on Temple Ruins last game, and even though they are the retake kings, it's 1 versus 4 right now. I don't see Fate getting back on this capture point. It'll be the second one of the game going in favor of Team. The Dragon Punch does come through. No, not even charged there. I thought that skillganon might try and go in at the last moment if that was available, and it is fully charged, ready for this defense, possibly going to be used to take down Mulk at the last moment. But once again, payload is going to spawn. It's going to be pushed all the way to the base, lightly defended here, but there is conversion opportunity, and if it goes the same way as last time, it will be a 4-2 point lead in favor of Team. Fate have got to do something different about these capture points.
Yeah, Fate really have to try and pull forwards in these capture points, and it might be just using their ultimates and holding them for the defense. I don't think they really needed them all on that defense there at all.
Alright, you want to talk about ultimate use? You want to talk about ultimate use? I'm going to talk about Hexafire. I'm going to make a call out on those Hexafires that we just saw.
Both of them were bad. That's the hilarious part about it.
They were terrible.
No one, despite 3 people being chickened. And
the only thing
Arcos hit a pillar. He hit a tree.
The only thing he could have shot, he shouldn't even popped Hexafire though, because there were barricades which players could have dodged around, and indeed they did. And then as soon as he's like, oh, what can I shoot? Oh, there's a turret there. Doesn't even aim at the turret, so he takes a load of free turret damage. He gets wiped out immediately. You've got to do better than that at a competitive level of play. You've got to have a bit more positional awareness, and if Fate managed to kind of hit that nail on the head, then maybe they have a chance of this. But at the same time, after that pretty abysmal display, I'm sure that SYER is also going to be looking at changing up their positioning. And SYER's actually popped the ultimate there on the top side.
Say that, Arcos popped his ultimate in the face of a Fernando shield into the Immortal. He does pick up the kill, finds the double kill right at the end, but again, just a bit poor use of his ultimate.
We do have a good point that these players have been playing for a very long time at this point, and decision making is going to be lacking in some areas.
I mean,
but
you can say that, but again, this is what you have to do at a competitive level. You know, these games are going to go on best of 5. Looking at best of 2 best of 5 series possible here. These players are all going to be tired. You know, it's up to them to just push on forwards, be the best over time. You've got to have that endurance, man.
It's surprising the difference between the single elimination and the double elimination format really transitions it being from a sprint to a full-out endurance race, and that's what's going on right now as Megaturret has actually popped on the side of Smutney. Smutney able to pick up 1 kill, but it's quickly answered back by STURE. The payload about to tick into overtime, but advantage right now on the side of Team. Now the respawns will be coming through from Fate relatively quickly. No? What happened?
Stepped off the payload.
Just as overtime came through?
Just as overtime came through.
Because I saw them right at the end there, standing next to the payload, looking confused.
I think there was an expectorate that came through.
Oh, no.
I want to say that that was an expectorate and a great play from skillganon.
Well, we know that skillganon is running. He's running masterful.
And honestly, if that was an expectorate play, beautiful. But at the same time, it didn't look like it. So,
If skillganon is running that masterful build, not the decimate build, which increases the size or the radius of Expectorate's explosion. But Fate, now with a successful defense, do have a chance to come back and take this capture point once again on Waterfall. Dragon Punch goes up. He's going through the window. Skillganon looking for it.
Finds
Does wipe out
Marre.
Marre. That's a great pick there, as Marre's been devastating in these point fights. And now skillganon with a double kill. It's heavy. It's in favor of Fate for the first time this match. SYER answers back heavily though, but a salvo hits onto SYER. In a lot of trouble with skillganon. They're caught in midair, but there's a Hexafire. Manages to take out one as Arcos goes around the corner, hits into the barricade, but now we've got the barrack on the side of TeamTeamTeam, forced to retreat as Fate's Esports take an early point capture lead.
Menchmar right behind them as well. Arcos goes very aggressive, will pay for his positioning. The rest of the team, they're trying to get into position to defend this. Menchmar goes deep, doesn't manage to find anyone yet, however.
But this is my issue.
Good
This is my issue.
comes through.
Look at what happens with
Chicken
Fate.
comes out.
Fate are not on the point. They're not capturing the point right now. They've all pushed up to defend and then fired a couple of shots and just retreated, but nobody was stood on the point. They could have 60 points in capture so far, and they have 35, and now it's being answered back as Barrack, actually. STURE is sat on the capture point, capturing it for the side of TeamTeamTeam right now. What are Fate doing? They seem to just be making these baffling decisions, and yes, you could say that you need the zone pressure, but the respawns are too far away for them to make any kind of impact. I would much prefer them to see them sit on the point for a few seconds longer, and then just bolt it out of there, wait for the respawns to come through, and potentially look to just get that bit more of a capture advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be rough for Fate to get back into this one and recap it, but it looks like they're putting up a good fight. Menchmar picks up one onto Kamyker. That's an advantage already. Dragon Punch coming out. Can't manage to find Marre. Does get himself in a good position to pick up the kill, however. Menchmar and Arcos taking down. There's the Immortal. Skillganon manages to find Marre. SYER chicken out before he can pop the Hexafire. Saves the team. Unbelievable. Stops them from a clean wipe there. And it looks like they've taken point control again.
You've got to be careful as STURE almost has that ultimate up and ready. Then if the Mega Turret comes through, it could be devastating for the side of Fate. STURE going in, looks to get on the capture point just for that last second, but is unable to contest capture point, the first one of this game, going to Fate, and that will even up the scores 4-4. They now reading the scoreboard. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to push this payload to completion for a 2-point lead of Fate. Otherwise, it will be a 1-point lead in favor of TeamTeamTeam.
Yeah, Fate really have to make a good push here onto this attack. It's going to be tough for them. They do even things up for the moment. Freeze goes into the inside the Vikings area. They don't manage to pick up Mulk. They force him away, give themselves some more area to work with and some more distance on this payload right now.
As you say that, I can see Dragon Punch skillganon going deep into the air, goes through the treehouse, looks for a kill onto Kamyker, doesn't actually find it, able to drop some damage up from high, but now he's in danger of being hit by Marre on the backside, going to be under a lot of pressure, under a deep, big threat there, is able to hover in the air for a second, likely to be taken down with the payload all the while, going to be pushed in as MULKMULKMULK has to mount up and then push after the team to be able to catch it up again.
Menchmar goes in to try and clean up after his teammate skillganon in there, but doesn't manage to find the kill. He's going to get taken down. Smutney will drop as well. Arcos does manage to find a kill in return for his life, but that's a clean wipe. And Fate, they're actually a bit staggered. They're going to have to wait for their teammates to respawn.
Exactly, and I do hope they don't go in 1 versus 1 as we've seen them potentially do previously. I know that there's been a defensive turret placement go up on the side, as I've just heard it, of TeamTeamTeam, but they've got to deal with MULKMULKMULK deep in the backline. That's an Ice Storm actually going out, doesn't connect, gets stuck on a pillar there, and Mulk able just to get out scot-free despite the huge chase that came out from both Eevee and Pip on the side of Fate.
Yeah, from right now, he's just chasing right behind Arcos, as Arcos tries to get in position to help his teammate with this chicken, but the counter chicken comes out. That's onto 2 members. Marre picks up 2 kills on the other side as well. Arcos does get out in time to kill STURE, but he's in danger right now. Smutney trying to hold onto the payload, but I don't think he'll be able to do so. He goes down, and it looks like this one will be going to Team Cubed.
Oh, I don't see it going any other way as Mulk gets a solo kill onto Arcos. That's a Fernando versus Ruckus, and that's almost embarrassing at this point. There's no way he should be taken
he
down.
did get lowered down from the chicken by quite a bit and was running for his life.
But Mulk, see this? Mulk
now.
actually is able to mount up in under a second. Drogos fires a shot. By the time Mulk is mounted, he's already got the shield up, isn't dismounted, and is able to run away scot-free. Payload has been ticked to overtime. There's a great freeze that's just come out, but there's no real response from Fate. There's not enough damage for them to be able to clean up the kills they need to and wipe out Mulk and then push this Payload all the way through. It's too far away. I want to see Fate disengage. I want to see them give this one up right now, as I don't think there's any chance in hell it's going to him. And instead, look to save ultimate, look to focus on the next capture point, and if we can hit tab and go to the scoreboard, please. Let's take a look at the ultimate charges for this upcoming capture point.
I actually think Fate they're actually at the disadvantage on ultimates right now, so not too bad an idea for them to still go for that one.
One of them is Cassie.
Going to give to them.
Cassie hasn't got the most important teamfight ultimate, but it is very, very useful for sniffing out flanks and ambushes, which is exactly where I expect to see it used. I think that Cassie is going to go in as soon as the team gets near the point. Cassie's going to hop off her mount, pop a scout, make sure they know where the enemies are, and then look to counter the ambush, which is undoubtedly coming out from Fate. Burncard's picked up full across the board now, seeing a couple of cauterizers. The veteran on MULKMULKMULK once again. Interesting enough, no resilience on MULKMULKMULK, but 3 resilience picks across the board.
Dragon
Goes
punch. Oh, Kamyker just sidesteps it. He knew it was coming. They outplayed it completely. Turns around, hits the chicken onto 4. Mulk now pushing up into this banister. They pick up SYER. SYER picks up Menschmeyer as well. Hexafire comes out from Arcos though. That's going to pick up one. Unbelivable with a return killer as well of his own. Hexafire coming out from SYER now. Pick up skillganon, but he's got to be careful of the return kills. Does find the double kill. Now Marre and Kamyker 2v1 against Arcos should pick this one up.
There we go. Marre getting credit for that kill. The respawns from Fate are starting to come through. They do have a barrack on their side, but he's setting up defensively. He can't start to push onto the capture point as the offensive pressure from Team is just too great. They need to wait for respawns and hit by a disengage almost through the barricade right there. Mulk sitting around the corner, ready to jump out and stall these players out if they look to push to the capture point. But they've got to make a move soon. There's a mega turret pop by STURE there. Dragon Punch comes through. He's going to look for a player. He's not going to find anybody as SYER actually takes out Drogo's midair. What a shot. What a play from Ruckus right there. Undoubtedly assisted by the rest of his team. And this one is just being controlled in and out and throughout by TeamTeamTeam.
I mean, you've got to be feeling it right there. I mean, you get blocked that hard, inches away from a kill that could win you the fight. An important kill like that onto Ruckus. Oh boy.
You get shot out of midair and Dragon Punch. That's gonna tilt anybody.
Yep. That's the tilt-worthy play right there.
And not even during the loading animation, right? When Drogos goes up into the air and he goes, "Behold the dragon's fury," and gets ready to do the dragon punch. There's an opportunity for you to take Drogos out before he actually manages to wipe out a member of your team with that 100-0 one-punch knockout, but hit out of midair just before the punch connects. Whew.
Oh, Mega Turret, however, up on high ground. That'll take Mulk out. Deals a lot of damage to him. Salvo as well onto SYER and STURE. That takes them low. Unbelivable picks up that for a second kill. He's going for STURE on this one, trying to find the triple. Does get forced away. Menschmeyer, however, on the backside, does pick up Marre on the 1v1. Unbelivable. Finally completes his triple kill. Gets that onto STURE, and they're pushing Team Cubed back.
The payload has been successfully defended, but only for now. The respawns are going to come through. The mine's point is in relatively close proximity to the payload where it is right now, and if the respawns are fast enough and the grouping is good enough, there is potential opportunity for Team to break through this defensive blockade. STURE going up on the top side does look to drop damage, and he's got a barricading turret set up there. It's going to be difficult to break that defense, and now Marre on the top side as well. That Cassie joining them is going to look to drop plenty of damage in, but where is Mulk? Mulk's waiting in the wings, just waiting for that opportunity to jump through top side, drop down, and just be a distraction onto the enemy team.
Unbelivable goes really aggressive. Picks up 1. That's 3 frags so far in the favor of Fate Esports as they start to take the advantage here once more. Mulk just not actually being a nuisance anymore. This is surprising to see.
Mulk being wiped out. Not many Wrecker pickups though. Arca the only one of the Wrecker pickups, so that means that something's just changed with Fate's coordination perhaps. I do like the cauterized pickups, so no more healing for you if you pick up a health drop for Fernando, if you manage to 1v1 an enemy. But at the same time, it's really those shields which I think are causing most of the disruption with Fernando. Any thoughts, Tattle?
I mean, they really are. Like, Fernando is causing so much issue, but at the same time, this last point, he really didn't as much. We saw normally Fernando causing an issue for the backline carries in the high ground, or at least staying on the payload and causing some issue there. This time, the rest of Fate, they just didn't even care about him this time. They went for the high ground push, found the kills, and at that point, there's no one there to deal any damage with the Fernando, and they clean up.
Point spawning in 15
Capture
seconds.
point spawning next. MULKMULKMULK picking up a resilience this time instead of the blast shields, which we've seen picked up quite a few times, taking account of that freeze EV. Are we going to see the frigid field swap at the last second? Capture point spawning in 2, 1. No
I
swap,
don't
still
think so.
going the
He's
frigid
got
field.
70. He has 70 points or so on his ultimate. I mean, you want
Right.
to keep that charge right there.
And I agree with that, but at the same time, you got 4 resilience pickups on the side of TeamTeamTeam. Kamyker's on a 14 streak right now. You're not going to be able to shut them down if you don't have that freeze. The only one you can actually freeze out is Ruckus, and Ruckus is immune during Hexafire, which is when you really need to have that CC available. Dragon Punch from skillganon comes through. He's looking for Mulk on the backside, finds that kill. Fate, all of a sudden, at a 5 versus 4 advantage. This could be their comeback opportunity here. They have the potential to actually win off a payload conversion, and they're going ham for this point.
As well, Arcos with the Hexafire. Smutny finds Kamyker on the top. They're pushing forwards. They push all of Team Cubed into the mines area as they hold control in Igloo.
And there's the retake potential. We still can't disregard that. But they're split up and staggered, our Team Cube, and they're in a lot of trouble now. Mulk has returned, but Mulk under fire from 4 members of Fate Esports right now. Whilst Barrack does come in, we've got to check real quick. The Mega Turret just popped at the last moment, but the barricade should be good enough. But there's a Hexafire as well coming through from SYER, but it's not enough. No kills picked up on the back of that. Kamyker does manage to take out Unbelivable, and the point capture now going in favor of Team Cubed. But 87 points lead Fate right now. If they can come through the respawns and just force Cubed off for a moment, they'll get this payload and they'll have the opportunity to win off this payload push.
They will indeed. 30, 40 ticking away right now. Mulk very aggressively going to hold Pip out of this one as he actually tries to go and team up with his teammates Arcos up there. Now they're all pushing in, however. Freeze comes out. That's a 4-man chicken coming through. Another chicken comes out though, however. There's just chickens all over the place on this point. The rest of them collapse on. Arcos takes down SYER. Kamyker takes down Unbelivable. It's a 2-for-2 trade. They're trying to find the extra kills that they need right now. Team Cubed all up on the high ground. It pays off for them. Smutny gets
Dragon's
taken
Fury.
down. Immortal comes through. Dragon Punch not quite connecting onto anyone. Arcos takes down Marre. Freeze but connecting, of course, due to that resilience. And there's a Hexafire. Double kill for Arcos. Fight still going on. Unbelivable finds the kill, and they win the capture point.
And they needed that capture point as well. It was 7-point advantage on the side of Team Cubed, and if they won that capture point, it would have been toast for Fate, and this would have been going to another best of 5, but now Fate have the opportunity to close it all out. If they don't manage to push this payload to completion, it all comes down to the final capture point. With Fate having a disadvantage on capture points on this particular map, that's not a spot they want to put themselves in, so expect to see big plays, big ultimates, and lots of damage come out as this game is going to get drawn to a close very, very shortly.
Big plays coming out. skillganon picks up 2 kills of his own right there. He's looking for the 3rd onto SYER right now. Almost going to pick it up. Does just manage to get it. The turret almost steals it from him as well.
And skillganon's still going.
In the end.
He's still going. He's still a force of devastation. He's a force to be reckoned with.
Dragon
There's the
Punch!
Dragon Punch.
Oh!
Just dodged. Dodge roll, I
Doesn't
think, from
aim
Marre
it
got him
quite
out of danger.
correctly. The dodge roll actually didn't dodge it out completely as it would have hit if it was on a person, but doesn't connect with that. Inside the base now, Smutny picks up Mulk on the payload, and that's a huge kill for the side of Fate as they're still making this push. Marre finds one, gets taken down. skillganon, another kill for him. The first kill in a while for Team Cubed comes through, but it's still pushing through. Mega turret there comes out from Smutny. That's going to do a lot of damage to Mulk. He finally finds that one, finds the kill onto Smutny, cancels out the turret. They are blocking the C payload for now, and it looks like they'll finally stop this relentless assault from Fate.
skillganon, the only one left alive in the base of the enemy, in the den of lions right now, going to be forced to mount up and run out of there, but a blink freeze from Eevee is going to cause some backline disruption. Soar away shortly. No, nothing really gained from that, but takes the pressure off skillganon, who's able to drop a couple of shots in. Was that the wormhole? He's in the base again.
Wormhole back due to the pressure from Mulk. Does die for it. Smutny picks up Marre in the back, however. 25 seconds remaining. The rest of the team now. Fate starting to flood into
Dragon
the base.
Punch! Oh, just misses. Strikes the needle
Everyone
with
just stays in
skillganon.
base. SYER knew it was coming. He just waited it out. 10 seconds remaining. They pick up Kamyker. Advantage right now for Fate. Another kill, actually. Arcos picks up SYER. skillganon goes down.
It's going
Kill
through!
skillganon, it goes through! Fate take the 5th game!
That's a 3-game-in-a-row comeback from Fate. Back from the brink of defeat, going through to the second best of 5, but no second best of 5 tonight, as Fate Esports are your 4th and final qualifying team for the DreamHack Summer Tournament at DreamHack Sweden, coming up in a few weeks' time. And what a series of games that was. An absolute phenomenal best of 5, going all the way to the final game. But Fate do come out on top. And before we go any further, and before we talk about what this means and for the next coming week in that playoff week, let's take a look at the scoreboard. Tattle, anything you spot there that really comes out and might have pushed Fate to victory?
Mutney finally hit that 200k number.
You're kidding me. Oh, the shielded damage.
Finally
Yep.
hit that 200k number. We get a props for him, but I think it's skillganon. It's got to be that man.
The one punches. They actually just changed fights, and even when they didn't connect, it was enough disruption and enough of whoa, get out the way of that shot to cause that backline disruption on the side of TeamTeamTeam and just disperse them enough to make some differences. But I think Arcos with that last Hexafire really won the push. He picked up 1 kill, he picks up 2 kills. He does 2 kills. He does a 180 and manages to pick up the kill onto MULKMULKMULK right at the end. But if we're gonna give MVPs for this tournament, I'm sorry, it's gotta be Mulk for me, because this is the best Fernando play that I have seen at a competitive level, going not just alone in these games, but accompanied sometimes by Marre and Buck. But yeah, just able to be such a force of disruption. It's absolutely incredible, and I'm really hesitant to kind of say that's the best Fernando play we've seen, because of course don't forget we've got North America tomorrow, and we saw them starting to favor Fernando a little bit last week, and I'm really excited to see how that's going to play out.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how NA fare over there with their final week, of course, as well. We have Ronin, who are primed, of course, to take their slot that they have been looking for so long. But at the same time, you've got other teams such as, I think, who was the last one left? I
Ooh,
forget
that's a
their
good question.
name.
Go on.
I forget their name.
Name a player.
I mean, apparently Bolter's playing tomorrow as well.
Good point. Good point. Bolter, a returning competitive player from the early days on bench of Paladins play, hasn't actually played in the qualifying tournament yet, but we do have a very interesting surprise team that's going to be coming through there. It's been referred to as New Old Ronin, so I'm excited to see how that one plays out. Of course, we will see the regular Ronin go into the finals, being the favored team to win, of course, now with no Ascension on the board. So it's going to be interesting to see the lineup that comes. But do you think we're going to get more random teams or more new teams coming in for the last-ditch effort to get into that next week for the playoffs?
I mean, we saw them come in today and make today such a nail-biter. We saw, of course, Team Cubed. They're a brand new team coming today. They made it all the way to the finals and almost took things, clutching it back from the jaws of defeat. Fate shut them down in the end, but again, that's a brand new team coming forwards. So, incredible play.
But you do have to give credit to the players, as they are all veterans in the world of competitive Paladins. But GG to everybody who attended. It's been wonderful to see the returning teams throughout all of the weeks. We're sorry that we didn't get the opportunity to spectate every single match, and of course for some of the delays that came through due to the new spectator bugs. But thank you all so much for your patience and bearing with us on that. And we're excited to go into tomorrow for the last week of North American qualifiers, and then the playoffs in week 5. And Tattle, tell me what happens next week.
We've got, of course, playoffs will start next week. It is single elimination best of 5s between the teams. Seed 1 from each region will face up against Seed 4, whereas on the other side, Seed 2 will face up against Seed 3. Of course, we know that to be the side of Torpedo facing against Fate decided today, and Death and Taxes will be up against the side of D69. That is for Europe. NA, on the other hand, we do have Kungana taking that first slot. Then Eager taking the second, facing up against Warpath in the third. And the deciding team that wins tomorrow's tournaments taking that 4th slot. Remember, it's the top 2 teams from next week's playoffs that make it into DreamHack and decide whether they are good enough to take that prize pool.
And what a stage to play at. There's a $100,000 prize pool on the line for all of those teams competing, and the opportunity to not just visit and experience DreamHack Summer in Jönköping, Sweden, but also play on that stage potentially, and we hope, broadcast to a large audience and to really showcase Paladins to the best of their ability to a wide crowd. And I can't tell you how excited I am for that. I'm definitely going to be there. I hope that I'm going to see familiar faces from this audience and from my Paladins friends there as well. I know there's a couple of people that are definitely going to be there. And Tattle, if you don't make it, I'm going to be surprised.
If I don't go, I think I'm just dead
That's
to the
it.
world. I'm dead
That's
to the world.
it.
You'll never see me again. I'll be gone.
You're gonna drop off the face of the internet. But that's
I think I only have.
Go ahead.
I think I only have bets to win DreamHack right now. But
Are you sure you don't want to cover all the bases and bet on either side, or are you so confident in your team?
I think I'll leave it there for the moment. But that will be it for today's broadcast from us, of course. From me and Vox, Tattle and Vox for today, from the commentator team, as well as from the staff from Paladins World, Phasion and Only Light, who've been helping with all of the back-end stuff and the camera work. Thank you very much for everyone who's come out to watch. Thank you to the teams. Congratulations, GG, well played to Fate for taking their 4th slot, and we'll see you tomorrow for the NA qualifiers.